I ain't taking no naps. For the 12, I'm bridging the gap. 16, 11, I'm strapped. Dream team coming back with the slaps. On the block where it's at. White Chris getting smacked. Who gon' read? I'm about to snap. This straight facts, my boy, no cap. 16, 11, I'm strapped. Dream team coming back with the slaps. On the block where it's at. White Chris getting smacked. Who gon' read? I'm about to snap. This straight facts, my boy, no cap. Scripts going up.
We gon' flip like an acrobat, giving my cardiac, he caught a heart attack. He got the facts like under a snapper cap. We got the fire, we be the battle axe. Saints is back and we came for the throne. I put my sword to the back of your dome. I'm getting laughter off your disaster, making these bastards give up the ghosts.
Cause we getting active. Keep talking your shit and it's gonna get tragic. My God, he got tactics. Give him an hour, he gonna do damage. Flex. Right on, demons crippin' with the lights on. Bunch of wolves and pythons. Mine seared like an iron. We shot down the eagle, gathered the people, whipping in shape. They feeling so feeble. Stars of the movie ain't talking no regal. Turn the king, better get with the sequel. This ain't the time to be evil. Pray to my God, I was there for the prequel. Bringing that fire straight to your liars. Toast that boy up like a churro.
Yeah, we put in the work, ain't no time out. We done a lot of this work, so we bring it out. When we hit up the streets, we coming to preach. Disrespect, I'm unleashing the beast, stay warm mode. Scriptures cutting like a Brenda. When we swinging the sword, the demons they fear, they turn around and surrender. When Christ they turn to straight vengeance, evicting all of you tenants. He's saving his people that came from the trenches and giving us planets and all of the riches. We taking the kingdom, destroying the wicked. You reap what you sow, so it's going to get hectic. This movie is ending, about time for the credits. Defending your brother, you better just dead it or get him beheaded. The scriptures
I ain't taking no nuts. For the 12, I'm bridging the gap. 16, 11, I'm strapped. Dream team coming back with the slaps. On the block where it's at. White Chris getting smacked. Who gon' read? I'm about to snap. This straight facts, my boy, no cap. Scripts going up. For the 12, I'm bridging the gap. 16, 11, I'm strapped. Dream team coming back with the slaps. On the block where it's at. White Chris getting smacked. Who gon' read? I'm about to snap. This straight facts, my boy, no cap. Scripts going up.
I can't sleep. Got wolves wanna kill my sheep. Boy, crazy. You don't want smoke, you don't want heat. Smoke. Wanna write checks? Can't cash that. Lil' Jezzy, I got receipts. Check. My warfare so unique. Got the hit squad, you know we deep. How you gon' pull up a war with a woman controlling the narrative? Y'all niggas weak. Hey, trust me, your future look bleak. Thank you for turning against me, cause that doesn't prove me. I keep making tweaks. Busy, I'm out of the streets. Y'all still writing tweets? Shit. Everybody shook when I clap. Back, my enemies gotta retreat. Petty like word. They don't know who they accusing. Got bombs and I ain't even use it yet. I made a sword out of music. Gotta do it. When I strike, these devils gon' lose it. That Trump car was a doozy. Tryna damage the way people view me. Joke. They shooting they shots back to back. You don't know you can't step to a guy with a Uzi. Little boy, this good over evil. I'ma talk once after that ain't no sequel. Right. My weapon is lethal. It's about time I go hunt for a weasel. Hey. This for the people. Fight off these demons coming for the feeble. My weapon is lethal. It's about time I go hunt for a weasel.
Hey. I'm calling on soldiers. Hey. 12. Let's go. Wake your ass up. Wake up. Wake your ass up. Wake your ass up. I ain't taking no naps. For the 12, I'm bridging the gap. 16, 11, I'm strapped. Dream team coming back with the slaps. On the block where it's at. White Chris getting smacked. Who gon' read? I'm about to snap. This straight facts, my boy, no cap. Scripts going up. For the 12, I'm bridging the gap. 16, 11, I'm strapped. Dream team coming back with the slaps. On the block where it's at. White Chris getting smacked. Who gon' read? I'm about to snap. This straight facts, my boy, no cap. Scripts going up. Boom.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's the King. Let's go. 12 up. 6 down. 12 up. 6 down.
You boys get hit. Straight on 10, I live for the shit. Gotta take heat, I pray don't slip. They watch, they plotting, I see through they sin. I told the strict, you don't get it slit. He hold his neck, he suffocating. I steady be flexing, they feeling so sick. I feel like I can't do it, I'll be lit.
Green team and we step on the scene clean. All the haters, they really tryna be weak. I'm thinking how can it defeat me? If I'm strong on the low and they meet me. Jordan drop fire in BC. If you win on that, my name is Nimi. I get lit and I enter a
making him sick. I look for the ups, I had on my list. They cannot resist. He's trying to escape, but I give him the biz. The saints gon' sit on the throne. These dogs ain't getting no bone. They gon' bring me the diamonds and gold. I'm a floss cause I'm in my zone. The saints gon' sit on the throne. These dogs ain't getting no bone. They gon' bring me the diamonds and gold. I'm a floss cause I'm in my zone.
Yo, man.
And listen to all of them. Sunday's got a long lineup. I can't name them all, but you can occupy yourself with music, definitely the word, and a lot of information, especially what's going on the earth right now. So the lineup begins tomorrow morning with Patient Saints and then carry it right on to the last show, which is Wisdom Crieth out outside of Austin.
Wake up to the Patient Saints, go ahead and grab your coffee. This truth is spreading across the globe. Our hidden history's alive with Deacon take us through them times. Painted black faces right now, you know this not Jesus Christ. Raving the wolves, we prophesying in the fire booth. Bringing more fire, word to Deacon Malachi. You the ending in the lion's den. We got the current events, wisdom crying out at 9 o'clock. Come listen, we gon' set it off on Sundays.
That's right. Check. That's right. Hey, Most High Christ bless. Shalom, family. We are back. I'm Officer Halez.
Officer Razis.
Sir.
Officer Asahel.
Officer Kilaya.
Officer Gedaliah.
Officer Joshua.
And with that, we make up WCO. That's right. That's right. Hey, all praise to the Most High God and His Son Jesus Christ, the Black Messiah.
That's right.
All praise, man. We back, man. We got a lot of moving parts, a lot of things that's been going down in the nation.
Yes,
We're about to showcase that right here on Wisdom Crieth Out.
That's right.
We want to thank all you brothers and sisters for tuning in. If you haven't yet, like, comment, subscribe, share, Israel, to help us with the algorithm. That way, this truth continues to go forth to the four corners of the earth. All right, all praise to the Most High. Shout out to Bishop Kanai, the big wolf.
Yes, sir.
That's right. Shout out to our leadership, the bishops, the deacons, captains, officers, soldiers. All praises, man. Oh, our sisters out there. That's right. That's right. Our sisters.
Yes, sir.
That's right. Tech team, make sure y'all hold it down. All right.
Shout out to Officer Halez.
That's
back
right.
on deck.
Just came
Back.
back.
All praises.
Welcome home, sir.
Just came back from
Welcome
another
home, sir.
international trip, getting it in
All
while the
praises.
world
We
is
working,
sir.
man. We working,
That's
man.
right.
sir.
Telling you,
All
you know,
praises.
for a second I thought Liberia's flag was a Puerto Rican flag. Damn. Hey, put that thumbnail. Mission
that up.
55. Man, I don't know if I'm in Texas, Liberia, or Puerto Rico.
sir.
I don't know where I'm at these days.
Hey, all praises to the Most High. As
All
you can
praise,
see,
Bishop,
Mission 55, Bishop Kanai and the captains, the officers, the soldiers, they was getting it in the country of Liberia, man. All praise.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man. A lot of like what goes into traveling and the sacrifices that our leadership makes, a lot of those things are like, you know, you can't catch these things on camera. You know what I'm saying? Like the hidden struggles behind those travels, whether it be the jet lag, whether it be hard to find food and water that will be safe to eat while you're out there, the lodging, making sure that it's in a safe location,
Flat tires.
transportation, flat tires, brothers getting sick on the trip and so forth. These are things that happen, you know what I'm saying, that the video camera don't catch. Right. You know what I'm saying? So we are very, very grateful for our leadership, you know, the bishops, deacons, and captains who go out there and travel and lead by example and put themselves in the belly of the beast to wake up our people, man. That thing is such an honorable, it's the most honorable thing someone can do. The scripture talks about that in John. Can I get that real quick? John 15:13. This is a very good example of that. John 15:13. I think that's what I want.
The book of John, chapter 15 and verse 13. Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends.
What do you think they're doing when they travel? What do you think our leadership is doing when they travel? Bishop Nathaniel traveling to South Africa. Bishop Kanai traveling to Liberia. You know what I'm saying? Bishop Yawasab, the deacons, the captains. When they traveling, they laying down their life for the nation. That's what they doing it for. So it is definitely no small matter. You know what I'm saying? And they show us how to be humble because they tell us, they show us in the scriptures, it's our reasonable service. It's our duty to do.
That's right.
And we do it with joyfulness and gladness.
That's right.
Not because somebody's making us, because we, you know what I'm saying? We do it out of the sincere and genuine love for the nation. That's
right.
why they do it.
That's right. Hey, pull that next thumbnail up. Let's show some more of what Bishop Kanai was out there doing. Pull the next thumbnail up. And then while we get that, read real quick Acts 15:26. While we get that. Yep, pull that up, man. That's right.
That's right.
Hey, support the Booster Club, man. This is how we are able to go do these marvelous works.
Yes, sir.
Okay, read that real quick.
The book of Acts, chapter 15 and verse 26. Men that have hazarded their lives for the name of our Lord Jesus Christ.
So one thing you know about our leadership, man, they lead from the front. Okay, our leadership lead from the front. So there should be no reason, you can take it down, there should be no reason why us young men, us able-bodied men are not out there doing the work.
Bring it out.
Straight up.
Can you say that one more time, Officer?
There's no reason why you able-bodied brothers is not out there doing the work.
That's
straight up. Like Bishop Nathaniel always says, you were not brought here to be professional students.
Right.
You was not brought here just to sit in a purple chair and soak up all the white man's good air. No, you was out there, you was created to go hazard your life for this gospel, man. For real.
That's right.
Why you think after the class when they bring in our scriptures, a lot of times they be like, do y'all understand what y'all have gotten yourselves into?
Yep.
Do you know what you breaking bread and wine for? Have you counted the cost? Do you understand the condition of the battle? A lot of people, we nod our heads, I know. But thus why we have the title of today's class, which is called Martyrs of the
Motherland. Yep. Martyrs of the Motherland.
We can't forget about those martyrs. It goes beyond just Martin Luther King.
Right.
Our brothers Nat Turner, our brother Malcolm X, Harriet Tubman. It goes beyond that. We got way more martyrs. We got martyrs in the Bible. We got martyrs in Africa.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? That guess what? That Black history don't teach.
Bring it out.
That these the Board of Education and Harvard University, Yale and Princeton, all these so-called prestigious colleges, they don't teach us this.
No.
They do not teach us this history. You understand? That's why we can't allow another nation to educate us. You got to do your research.
That's right.
All right, let's pull up that next thumbnail. Right there, yep. Pull that up. There you go. The Bishop Kanai and the captain's getting it in Liberia. Doing
Shout out to Captain Arrell.
Yep, Captain Arrell, Captain Joel. Doing major works. All right, what we got next? Pull that next one up. Yep, pull that up. Pull that up. That's the general right there. Hey, put some respect on the general, man. Put some respect on the general. It says IUIC provided school kids with bags and umbrellas in India.
That's right.
Fire, man. All praises to the Most High God. Next slide.
That's right.
What else we got?
Yep.
IUIC provided school kids with backpacks and umbrellas in India.
Fire, man.
All right, our bishops are out there. They're not just talking about it, they are being about it.
That's right.
That's
Unlike
right.
these pork chop eating pastors.
Yep. The urban apologetics.
Won't even go to the hood and tell them, stop selling drugs.
Right. Bring it out.
Honor marriage.
Right.
They're not doing none of these things.
The hell is this?
What else we got? Hey, can we play some highlights from Liberia?
That's right.
Oh, highlights.
We ain't got those queued up.
Hey, Officer Les, you
Talk to me.
said something heavy. I hadn't thought about it like this. You were saying not only did we have Malcolm and Martin and the brother from the slave rebellion, Nat Turner. Thank you. But we were scattered throughout the whole world, right?
Right. Yeah.
So why wouldn't this oppression be throughout the whole world? Why wouldn't the men who rise up against the evildoers be throughout the whole world? You just said something. I hadn't thought about it like that.
That's a good
All right,
point.
hey, let's pull up the local events, what took place here, real quick, because we don't got nothing queued up for the.
Let's go.
Can we pull them up quick, IT?
Not yet. Anything
Well,
from Liberia?
They could. Anything from Liberia? Okay, so we're going to touch on the motherland today, which is, give me that in Galatians 4:26 real quick while they look that up. We're going to touch on the motherland. What is the motherland? Let's read.
The book of Galatians, chapter 4, verse 26.
Come on.
But Jerusalem, which is above, is free.
Come on.
Which is the mother of us all.
Which is the mother of us all. So Jerusalem, which is in Israel.
That's right.
Which is in Africa.
That's right.
That is in Africa. That's why these bastards tried to create the Suez Canal to separate the land of Israel from Africa. Right. Okay.
And in today's show, we're gonna show how we ended up in Africa. The deep, how do you say it? The deep, how do you say the word, man?
What? The
ramifications?
No, like how the interiors of Africa. There you go.
Interiors.
How we
The
ended
deep
up into the
interiors, okay.
interiors of Africa. We're gonna show that today. Best believe it. We're gonna show that. All right. So do we got that, IT?
Check the channel. Just check the channel.
Yeah,
all right,
check the
just,
channel.
we'll get it when we can. For the time being, speaking of Africa, right? Let's get some history on Africa real quick. Let's see what Africa was called in the Bible. Give me Psalms. I believe it's 106 and verse 25. I'm sorry, yeah, 27.
The book of Psalms, chapter
Matter of
106.
fact, start with 23.
The book of Psalms, chapter 106, verse 23. Therefore, he said that he would destroy them.
105, 23.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
No, that's my bad. I said 106.
The book of Psalms, chapter 105, verse 23. Israel also came into Egypt.
Go ahead.
And Jacob sojourned in the land of Ham.
And Jacob sojourn. Sojourn means what? To dwell and inhabit.
Right.
They inhabited the land of Ham. Now, can y'all do me a favor back there, IT? I know we asking a lot, but please give me a map of the land of Ham. Let's see what pops up. All right? I know this is a common phrase. We always say, we've been saying it for years, and it's been a proverb, that's been out there for the long. But they say, you want to hide something from a nigga, put it in a book, right? Because why? We do not do research. We don't read. We don't look things up, and we expect our friendly neighborhood white man to educate us in all things. Okay? And all we're being taught is what? Science, a.k.a. witchcraft.
Right.
White supremacy history, founding fathers, the Edomites.
Mm-hmm.
We don't. Okay. So that's what we got for the land.
Wow.
Hey, they pulled up
Maps, brother.
maps, brother. Just put land of Ham, map. That way we don't have ham hocks pulling up. Damn. We don't need no ham hocks pulling up, Judah. Damn, we trying to give Judah a pass right now. Judah been a hot topic of discussion lately. Hey, I love you, Judah. Where we at?
There we go.
There we go. That looks good.
on it.
All right, put that up there. All right, everybody sees, right?
Yes, sir.
Where do you see Ham? In the continent, the country of Africa.
Right, all right.
Africa. All right. It was renamed Africa. Captain Sankara did a great history lesson on it on Four Corners News. All right. He went more in depth with the Roman general Scipio Cornelius Africanus in regards to the origins on how the name of Africa was changed from Ham to that Caucasian Roman general.
That's right.
You know what's crazy? So if I call myself African American, am I saying I come from two white people?
That's exactly what you're saying.
Because America was named after an Italian navigator, Amerigo Vespucci.
Right.
So I'm calling myself after two white men.
Right.
We are a little light-skinned officers. I don't know.
The hell is this?
Y'all put the camera. Oh, they got the camera on that, brother. I'm darker than him. I am darker than him. Look. Hey,
get in front of me, bro.
Hey, I gotta. Hey, check it out.
Look,
Put the camera
look how dark
back on.
my arm is. Look how dark my arm is.
Hey, I gotta ride this wave because I finna light up. I came back from the Caribbean.
Dark.
I gotta ride this tan while I still got it. So, all praises. All right, so let's read that one more time.
The book of Psalms, chapter 105, verse 23. Israel also came into Egypt, And Jacob sojourned in the land of Ham.
In the land of Ham, okay? You look up the Zondervan's Compact Bible Dictionary. It gives you a good explanation on Ham. Ham, biblically, all right, was one of the youngest sons of Noah, okay? Ham was one of the youngest sons of Noah who became the progenitor of the dark races, okay? The Hamites, okay? So thus the reason why the country was named after him.
Oh, but you left out some, officer.
Talk to me.
Father, dark races, but
not the
There
Negroes.
we go.
You want? Let's read it. Let's get
That's
it. Let's
right.
get it.
We
Let's
got
get
that.
it. IT. We're going to keep y'all busy. I'm telling you,
right.
got to be on your toes. We're going to keep y'all busy.
Let's go.
I know we did. That's what I'm saying. All you got to do is pull it up on Google. Zondervan's Compact Bible Dictionary, Ham, and it'll automatically pop up.
Well, can we get a
Hey,
precept?
I could have been IT, man. I'd have been back there killing it.
Can we get a precept?
I would
while
have
they-
been IT. I'd be like, that's what you need? Pfft, I got you. Y'all ain't supposed to worry about it. I got you. You know what I mean? What you saying?
Why they,
I'm going to the IT.
Let's get.
Hey, that sounds like a call out. That sound like a
What
call
the-
out. That sound like a call.
Why? Okay, there we go.
You can do my job, huh? officer?
There we go.
All right,
There we go.
Pull that up.
There we go.
All right.
Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races.
Meaning the forefather, right, of the dark races, read.
Not the Negroes.
Not you so-called blacks.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Okay, when I say blacks, I'm talking about you blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
That's right.
Come on.
But the Egyptians,
Read.
Ethiopians,
Come on.
Libyans, and Canaanites.
There you go.
That's right.
So we can find our true nationality in the Bible. One thing I always, when somebody comes up to us and says, I'm a child of God, I always tell them, so what you as a child, what was the name that God gave you then in the Bible?
Right,
And they could never tell. They're like, you ain't got no name, you a bastard. So I need to know your biblical name as a child, because the first thing a father gives his son or his daughter is a name.
Is a name, right?
So if you're a child of God, what's your name in the Bible? Help me out.
That's right.
Because we know our names in the Bible. We know our forefathers and who we was named after.
That's right.
Who raised you?
Who raised you?
Hey, and also too, officer, because you said a heavy point earlier. You said that Israel is a part of Africa. It's always been a part of Africa,
Absolutely.
right? And we always dwelt in Africa, okay, from the beginning, right? Real quick, let's get that in Deuteronomy chapter 1 and verse 7.
Let's go.
Okay, because you're going to see what the Lord commanded Moses and the children of Israel to do. Watch this.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 1 and verse 7.
Come on.
Turn you and take your journey and go to the mount of the Amorites.
Read.
And unto all the places nigh thereunto, in the plain, in the hills, and in the vale, and in the south, and by the seaside, to the land of the Canaanites.
To the land of the what?
The Canaanites.
We just read in the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary that Canaan was a son of Ham, right?
That's right.
Watch this, read.
To the land of the Canaanites, and unto
Lebanon.
and unto the great river, the river Euphrates.
Come on.
Behold, I have set the land before you. Go in and possess the land.
And do what?
Possess the land.
So the Lord told Moses to go and possess the land of Canaan. So Israel, we always dwelt in Egypt, okay?
That's right.
But like the officer said, they built something called the Suez Canal to cut off Israel from Egypt. Now we think that Israel has nothing to do with Africa. It's in the Middle East, okay?
Right.
It was all to perpetrate a lie that Esau and the Arabs in them are trying to push. But we know that the children of Israel dwelt in the land of Canaan, which was later known as Israel.
That's right.
All right? So, yeah, let's pull that Liberia up of the videos we got in Liberia. Pull that up.
All praises.
You got more scripture today than you've gotten in church in your whole lifetime. Because they don't have the solution. They don't know the answer.
Never trust that man. Because his mouth, his words are smoother than butter. But in the back of his head, he got war, he got deceit in his mind.
And there shall be no might in our hand.
Might meant power. We didn't have no might, no power in our hand to redeem them back. When the ship go, it go. We didn't see them again. And then luckily, some of them, the Lord allowed them to come back and then form Liberia. You are the descendant of those slaves.
That's what the Bible says. That is John the Revelator, inspired of God, left these records for the last days that we know somebody's going to call themselves the Jews and are not, but they are the synagogue of Satan.
That's right.
Fire. Not the Middle East. The land of Israel is Africa.
Fire.
That's right.
Hey, Bishop wasn't playing around,
Bishop,
man.
Yeah, he was on God mode. He was
That's
on
what
God
Bishop
mode.
went in God mode.
Yeah, he was in God mode.
He was fire.
That was Bill Street right there.
That was,
That give me goosebumps.
Nah, that was another level right there.
Every time I watch that Bill Street video, like I get goosebumps. Like Bishop, he been God mode on
that was
that
God
video.
mode.
Like,
I think he was levitating.
fire.
All praise. We got another one. Yep, pull that up.
Pull it up. Mission 55, Liberia, IUIC.
It's not there. So who are the descendants of the people from the beginning? When God created man on earth, what were their biblical names? We are the Jews, the Bible calls us, and we can prove that.
And behold, a certain man clothed in lining, whose limbs were girt up with fine gold or ufas. His body also was like a beryl, and his face was the appearance of lightning.
Read.
And his eyes as lamps of fire.
Remember, we read that in Revelations, his eyes, we read, it says eyes lamps of fire.
And his arms,
And his arms,
and his feet, like in color to polished brass.
like in color to polished brass. So John the Revelator saw it. Daniel, long before he was born, saw the same image. Why would they have to write those things down for the last days that we can now connect back to this Bible and don't believe that image? I don't care what anybody says. The Bible is true, and every man a liar. Much everywhere, because committed unto them was the oracles of God. We read it in the Old Testament, and we just read it in the New Testament. Watch what it says now.
The book of Joel, chapter 2 and verse 27. And ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel.
God said, you shall know that I'm in the midst of Israel. Why? Because he gave us his laws. He has a relationship with us.
And that I am the Lord, your God.
And I'm your God because I gave you my laws. I didn't give anybody else the laws.
And none else.
And I'm nobody else's God.
I believe what he said. I told you no. I don't believe him. Whether he's black, whether he's white, for me, I don't have problem with it.
She's wrong.
That's right.
It doesn't matter because it's written in the Bible. He's a black man.
That's right.
That's the problem we have. We can't have our own thoughts of what we feel as it is written. Let God be true and every man.
That's right.
Accepting the fact that Jesus is black, he's not white.
That's right.
Fire, fire, fire.
Fire.
I'm telling you, and that's what's going on. That's what's going on in a lot of these countries out there in Africa. That white supremacy, feminism movement is infecting a lot of the other countries now.
Yeah, Judaism too, Esau's Judaism.
That's right.
Right. That Talmud.
Right.
All of that stuff is infecting them.
Right. That's why you think they put the sister right there. And a regular man would have just stayed quiet.
Right.
But that's no regular man. You see what I'm saying?
That's right.
Bishop Kanai immediately was like, she's wrong.
Right.
Exactly.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? He applied Leviticus 19:17.
Instantly.
You know what I'm saying? And guess what? It does matter. Because
Right.
John 7:38 says, he that believeth on me, as the scriptures
have
said,
said.
That's
Yep.
right.
out of his belly shall flow rivers of living waters.
That's right.
All right. So all praises, man. All praises. We can see there's a lot of brothers out there. And
They're growing.
We got back a good report, man. There's
Yeah.
a real good report out there in Liberia. And Lord's will, the Most High continues to increase, those schools out there in general out there in Africa.
That's
you know
right.
what I'm saying?
That's right. All praises.
All praises, man. Our leadership is watering those seeds, man.
That's right.
And the Lord is blessing us for that.
That's right. Hey, let's pull up what we did today. Let's pull
What
up
we do today?
What did we do today, brothers? It does not stop. The work does not stop. All right. IUIC is a machine.
All right, post
Let's pull that up. So what did we hit today? Officer, get alive. Speak on this real quick, man.
Hey, all praise to the Most High. So we got one mind, one body happening right now in IUIC. So
Put them on the cam, y'all.
Yeah, there
leadership doing work in the motherland.
Yep.
And we doing work about the motherland
That's
over
right.
here in this land.
That's
so
right. That's right.
All praises. We had an
That's
event,
right.
a local event where a lot of the folks in the community were trying to come together, get a taste of Africa, tap into their culture and everything like that. But y'all know what the prophets do. We pull up, we show our nationality, our true heritage, and how we are connected to the Israelites in Africa. So we got a couple of images, y'all. We're going to drop some promos later on, but all praise, we got some images, man, just to show the work that was being done. A lot of people came out. They were edified. All praise to the Most High. Let's scroll through some of these images,
And we made a real good community relations out there. We want to make sure we specify that.
Yeah.
A lot of community relations was made today. All praises.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, take us off the screen. Take us off the screen. Yep, there you go. So there
we had
goes
the
Officer
mighty
Les.
Officer Les was bringing it out. They gave us an opportunity to speak on the stage. We was definitely able to edify the people, right? Just showing them like we always do. And, these folks, they know a little bit of the history, what's going on in Africa. So, but it's still the same. What is the reason why we in oppression? Because we broke God's commandments. So a lot of people came through that had questions. Everybody was paying attention. Next one, yeah.
Officer Enos. Shout out to Officer Enos, man. He was out there getting it in, too. Shout out to Officer Enos.
No shoes.
No shoes.
No shoes. Next.
Check.
Doing the work.
All praises. All praises. Yep.
All praises.
Next slide.
All right, there's some mighty warriors that went out today. All
That's
praise
right.
to the Most High, man. Brothers left. Taste of Africa, and now we're gonna come and talk about Africa.
That's
bro.
right.
WCO.
That's right.
All
Hey,
praise.
real quick, man, I do want to give a special shout out to Officer Get a Liar, man.
That's
Officer
right.
Get a
Hey,
Liar.
give her a round of applause, man.
Working, man.
Y'all put the camera back on that light-skinned brother, man.
That's right.
I told you, man.
shout
I'm
out to the
dark. Look, my skin
Keep it
black,
leveling
bro.
up, man.
Hey, shout out to the outreach, man. Yes, we've been getting a lot of doors open here in Austin,
Right.
and Officer Get a Liar, you've been spearheading that thing, man. So
That's
shout
right.
out to you and your team.
That's
the
right.
whole team,
Right.
the outreach team, getting it in, man.
Hey,
All
real
praise to
quick,
the Father.
can we post that video I dropped in the tech team? Because it was a taste of Africa, and I want to show y'all a glimpse of what transpired.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Can we play that video? Now, one thing I felt? The ambiance in there, the vibe felt very much like a powwow. Knowing that we got the drums, the dancing, the beautiful garments and dresses, that it felt very similar to a powwow.
The last group was Ephraim that went up on the stage.
The last group was Ephraim.
I ain't know that. I thought that was Ephraim?
No, the last one for the event
Oh,
was all it was Ephraim.
right. Okay.
But now I'm listening.
So now here we go. So this is just a glimpse of what we saw there. But hold on to your seats. Press play. All right. Taste of Africa.
Guess who's in there?
Here we go.
Yep. Guess who got to slither in there, bro?
Taste of Africa.
Who on the drums?
Who on the drums? Again, who else?
The
Oh my God.
this.
The hell is this?
You got all these sisters sitting down.
Yep, all the black sisters.
The ones that need to be up there.
Right. You got Esau doing this.
We
man.
got Heather Locklear, Barbara Streisand.
Heather Locklear.
We got Barbara Streisand. Is now the taste of Africa.
I'm telling you. And that's what we gonna bring it out today. We gonna bring it out.
That's what I said. Who on the drums? Wow.
Oh man.
Oh.
Hard. All right.
Hey, well, officer, in her defense.
But you know why this is even more like a powwow? Because you got $5 Indians.
Yep.
This cancerous Edomite creature is now infiltrating.
Yep.
These Afrocentric events.
Well, officer, she could be African. That might be Leo great
granddaughter.
You're right.
Leo Scipio's.
All right. She is African.
That's what I'm saying.
She is African.
She out
She
here
the real African.
Yep, Leo Scipio's Africanus start.
Dang, that's a
For
hell
real,
of a point,
bro.
officer. You cut me on that one.
Hey, she might.
This is war.
Hey, for real though. But yeah, we gonna show how we ended up in Africa, how we got into the interiors of Africa, how we got there. Okay, so like we said, Israel was a part of Africa, but something major happened in history, and we're gonna show that something major happened. So let's pull up that book from Babylon to Timbuktu. We're gonna read a few extras out of this book.
Hey, can we get that cover, that thumbnail real quick?
Yeah. Pull up the thumbnail of the show. Yep, pull it up.
Zoom in on that. There we go.
Yeah, that's.
We got the Martyrs of the Motherland, y'all.
That's
We
right.
about to go in deep today.
Yep, so We're gonna bring us a lot of history, man. A lot of history. Like you said, we stand in the spirit, one mind, one body with our leadership, man.
That's right.
So we're gonna follow suit. Right. All right. So pull that up.
I started off with Babylon of Timbuktu, written by one of our brothers.
Yep.
Good brother of ours, Rudolph R. Windsor.
Right. So let's go into this book. This is something major happened in history. Let's go to that next page. Yep. Blow it up.
In the year 65 BC, the Roman armies under General Pompey captured Jerusalem in 70 AD. General Vespasian and his son Titus put an end to the Jewish state with great slaughter. During the period of the military governors of Palestine, many outrages and atrocities were committed against the residue of the people. During the period from Pompey to Julius, it has been estimated that over 1 million Jews fled into Africa, fleeing from Roman persecution and slavery. The slave markets were full of black Jewish slaves.
Wow, drop a bomb for that right there. So it says it has been estimated go back to the book. It has been estimated that over 1 million Jews fled into Africa. Okay? So, officer, you mind if we bring that history out in the Bible? Absolutely. Let's get that real quick. Luke 21.
The book of Luke.
Yep.
Chapter 21 and verse 20.
So Christ prophesied that this will happen, okay? Read that.
And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh.
Right, that was 70 AD, Titus and Vespasian. Read on.
Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains.
Flee to where?
The mountains.
Flee to those mountains. What was those mountains? Egypt, all right? Africa. Go deeper into Egypt. Go deeper into Africa.
That's right.
This is how we ended up there, okay? Read on.
And let them which are in the midst of it depart out. And let not them that are in the countries enter therein too.
So that's it on that. So we showing the history of how we ended up in Africa, okay? And there's some more history. It didn't stop there. It didn't stop at 70 AD, okay? Because we fled to other parts, right, officer? We fled to Europe. We fled to different parts. It wasn't just Africa. And we're going to show how we got even deeper into Africa, okay? Go ahead, officer. All right, let's go back. You going to say something, officers? Y'all got anything? No? All right, let's go back to the book. Go to that next page. Yep, read that.
The pagans and the Romans attacked Jews indiscriminately, both the Jewish soldiers and the uninvolved peaceful population without mercy. As a result of this merciless attack, many Jews fled to those parts of Northwest Africa.
To where?
Northwest Africa.
So it wasn't just Egypt, okay? It was not just Egypt. We fled into other parts of Africa. Read on.
Those parts of Northwest Africa known as Tunisia, Algeria, Morocco, and Mauritania.
Read.
Many other Jews fled to the areas where Rome did not have any jurisdiction. This was to the region of the south, the Sahara Desert, and the Sudan.
Wow, drop a bomb for that right there.
And just for the record, I want to bring up 2 points, right?
Yes, sir.
We would always flee into Africa in the time of persecution. Yep. Can we get Matthew 2:13?
Yep, bring it out.
Can we get that?
The book of Matthew, chapter 2, verse 13. And when they were departed, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream, saying, arise and take the young child and his mother.
Come on.
And flee into Egypt.
And flee into Egypt. Come on.
And be there until I bring thee word. For Herod will seek the young child to destroy him.
And what was Herod? An Idumean, Edomite.
Caucasian.
You know what I'm saying? So these Caucasians have always been trying to kill and murder us. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
What was my second point? Let's go back to it. Go back. I think it'll come back to me.
Can I pull up an image real quick?
Yeah. Real quick. It came back. So I want y'all to see that real quick, right? You got Tunisia, Algeria, Morocco, and Mauritania. Morocco, they fled into Morocco because Morocco is where the Moors lived. And we know that Moor goes into black or Moreno. Same thing with Mauritania. They just spelled it different. It goes into Morano or blacks. Okay?
Yep. And then you was going to bring up something?
Just the image of the mountains that you was talking about, the topography.
Yes,
I just wanted to show that real quick. Just so y'all could
wow,
just
pull that up. Fire.
So we was in Israel, highlight the Israel area.
Northeast.
Yep.
Come on.
You see how they try to make it, it's like it's separate, that it's the Middle East?
Right.
So you saw the devil.
Can y'all highlight it or no?
Yeah, with your mouse. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so when it was telling us to flee into the mountains, y'all can see the mountainous ranges that we got. And then also there's even more mountain as you continue to move towards the west of Africa into the south. So we was basically fleeing into what is known as Africa, right? The whole continent, y'all.
Right, and also Les, you brought a heavy point because you said we always gone to Africa. We always did that, right? Jeremiah 44:1. Jeremiah 44:1. We always did that. It's nothing new. Okay, it's nothing new. Jeremiah chapter 44 and verse 1.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 44 and verse 1. The word that came to Jeremiah concerning all the Jews which dwell in the land of Egypt.
Which dwell where?
In the land of Egypt.
Which dwell in the land of Egypt. Which dwell in the land of Africa. It's nothing new. Okay, Officer Josh, you got something?
Yes, sir. Isaiah 30, just to back that up.
Yeah.
Say we always went down into Egypt and trusted in Egypt. Start at verse 1 and 2.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 30, verse 1.
Come on.
Woe to the rebellious children.
Who's that rebellious children? The so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans today, but the Israelites that the Bible speaks of. Come on.
Saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me.
What is that counsel? Counsel of Egypt. Keep going.
And that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit.
Jump to verse 2.
Verse 2. That walk to go down into Egypt.
That do what?
That walk to go down into Egypt.
Come on.
And have not asked at my mouth.
So we always went down into Egypt seeking help,
Refuge.
seeking refuge, seeking
That's
comfort.
right.
This ain't a new thing on the earth.
Yeah. Right. Hey, get that in 2 Maccabees as well. What is that? 2 Maccabees chapter 1? I believe it is. 2 Maccabees. Hold on.
Yes, sir. That's it.
Yep.
That's what you want.
Read that. 2 Maccabees.
1 and 1.
Yep.
The book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 1. The brethren, the Jews that be at Jerusalem.
Come on.
And in the land of Judea.
Read.
Wish unto the brethren, the Jews that are throughout Egypt, health and peace.
So again, another prime example of the Israelites dwelling in Egypt. And best believe we went deeper into those interiors. Okay?
Right. And that was during the Greek Empire. Let's go into the Roman Empire, how we were there in Egypt as well. Go to Acts chapter 2.
Let's go.
The book of Acts chapter 2 and verse 3.
Yeah, let's start with verse 5.
The book of Acts chapter 2 verse 5. And there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men, out of every nation under heaven.
Come on, now jump down to verse 10.
Verse 10. Phrygia and Pamphylia in Egypt.
Where were the Jews?
Phrygia and Pamphylia in Egypt.
And Egypt, which is Africa. Okay, Africa. Keep reading.
And in the parts of Libya.
Where?
Libya.
Come on.
About Cyrene.
Come on.
And strangers of Rome.
Which we read in Acts chapter 18, how we were told to depart from Rome. Go ahead.
Jews and proselytes.
There you go. All praise.
Fire. All right, so go to the next page in the book, and then we're going to pull that map up as well, Officer Get a Lie. Before we got to pull the map when we read this. So go to the next page. Let me see what we got. We got one more page, and we're going to pull that map. Yes, let's read this real quick. This is what Officer Les was talking about. Pull that up, and let's read all the black, during the region of King. Yep, read that real quick.
During the reign of King Joah II, or John II, 700 black Hebrew children were ruthlessly taken away from their parents in Portugal.
In where?
In Portugal.
So we was dwelling in Portugal. We was dwelling in those regions of Europe, and right? Come on.
And transported to the island of San Tome off the west coast of Africa. This island is located near Nigeria, Cameroon, and Gabon.
Right. So again, showing that they took us even in slavery to these different parts of Africa.
You know what's crazy is St. Thomas is literally, if you're on the outskirt island of Puerto Rico, it's called Culebra Island. You can see St. Thomas from there.
Wow.
Right. It's you can see the mountains of St. Thomas right next to Puerto Rico.
Wow.
Fire.
That's right.
So let's pull up that map. You know, leadership, they always pull up that map. Yep, pull that up. Go ahead, Officer, get a line.
Yes, sir. Just to go behind that point you said, Officer, because we pushed into the land. So zoom in, y'all. I know that's hard.
Zoom in by Israel real quick, just to show where by Israel. Yep.
There you go. So y'all see, we came in, we fled into these lands, right? And what we started doing, we started setting up shop. Started posting up.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? We started setting up our kingdoms, right? We had different tribes. We started, practicing our laws. And you're going to see traces of that all throughout these different tribes and communities all throughout Africa. And a lot of us, we made it down into what they call it the Gold Coast, right?
Right.
Let's scroll over to the left.
And while we looking at this, I just want to give a shout out to Bishop Nathaniel, shout out Tuesdays, Deacon Isaac, Captain Joel, the whole Isaiah 11:11, Captain Gedaliah, Escaping the Plantation.
Yep.
They've been going through this history thoroughly.
Right.
We just touching the surface level. But our leadership been going thorough through this history. Make sure you subscribe to those channels. Okay, subscribe to the IUIC Diaspora, all these different channels because they go in depth to this history.
Right.
Go ahead, officer.
And you can see right there, we got the Marumba Jews at the bottom, Saint Thomas, what is it?
Saint Thomas
Jews right there, right?
Yeah, there you go. There you go, brothers.
Yeah,
y'all all right, right
y'all
there.
all right, man. There you go. They got the Ephraim. I can't see how that
Benny
top
Can we
Ephraim.
zoom in a little bit, or is that maxed out?
Now you go.
There we go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Zoom in on that.
Nice.
Put the highlighter
All right.
thing y'all had. The highlighter, yep.
So that's Ephraim. When we zoomed out, you can see it said Ephraim.
So
over
Northern
there.
Kingdom was in Africa with us.
Right.
Ephraim. So that's like South Nigeria right there.
Yep. If we scroll to the left, you see the Dahomey Jews, right?
Right.
So what's this showing you as we about to read this next page, officer, that, we had set up, not only were we in those lands, we started setting up infrastructure.
You know what
I'm saying?
It wasn't no rinky-dink stuff. Don't get it
Right.
twisted. It was not no rinky-dink stuff, bro. We took over Africa.
Right.
We conquered the Hamites over there.
And that's what
just
they
like
always
we
try,
do.
I'm sorry. That's what they always try to make it seem like we got bones in our noses over there and looking crazy and grass skirts or
And
whatever.
I'm glad you brought that up because remember we read where it says Ham was the father of the dark races, but not the Negroes.
Negroes. That's right.
So even though we ran into Egypt, there was somewhat of a difference between us. And what was that difference? The real Egyptians, which which fled to the Sudan today, known as the Nilotes and the Watusis, right? Today's modern day Sudanese. The shortest woman is like 6'2", 6'3".
Right.
And the men are all, they're towers.
Right.
So you got brothers that think they're Egyptian and they're 5'4".
Right. Jake, that's Jake for you.
You're not an Egyptian. You were in captivity to these people.
Right.
Okay? And if you are an Egyptian, where's the bowl in your lip?
Right. Pull that
You need
up.
the cookie in your lip. You need, what else do they do? They got they bathing. If you look up, do we have to get into that?
urine with the cow urine.
urine with the
They
cow.
be bathing with cow urine
They
and
cut
worshiping
themselves.
animals.
Yeah, they cut them, mark themselves up.
Right. They the women stretch their necks up. You ever see how they put like the
rings?
Look like a
the
giraffe.
rings on their knees and Lord. So you're not African. This is what we're saying.
It's a
There's
difference.
a difference.
Right. Get
And
that
you
real
can see
quick.
it in the culture.
Yep.
All right,
Exodus 11.
Exodus 11.
Yes,
Go ahead,
sir.
officer.
The book of Exodus, chapter 11 and verse 7.
Watch this.
But against any of the children of Israel
Come on.
shall not a dog move his tongue
Read.
against man or beast,
Watch this.
that ye may know
That you may know for a fact, let God be true and every man a liar.
how that the Lord doth put a difference.
He put a what?
A difference.
Between who?
Between the Egyptians
And who else?
Israel.
Between the Egyptians and Israel.
That's
We are
right.
not the same as Egyptians.
Right. Can I get a
Okay. It was
precept?
just easier to camouflage.
Right.
Right? Because we were dark skinned just like them.
Yeah.
All right. Oh Lord,
That
post
just
that
threw me
up.
off, man.
So if you're Egyptian, what are you waiting for? You're saying that this is your culture.
Right.
This is your heritage. I saw one video clip on YouTube where they hunted down an elephant and started eating it while it was alive, like it was half dead.
Yep.
I'm
What was
telling
that?
you.
You said you gonna bring something up?
Yeah, a quick precept. Because a lot of our people go to Genesis 43:32. A lot of our people keep, fleeing, trusting in the shadow of Egypt. They have all this love for Egypt. The Egyptians didn't rock with y'all back in the day, man.
Right.
I just want to show you that real quick. Read that.
The book of Genesis, chapter 43, verse 32. And they set on for him by himself, and for them by themselves, and for the Egyptians, which did eat with him by themselves.
So the Egyptians and the Hebrews wasn't eating together. Read.
Because the Egyptians might not eat bread with the Hebrews.
They wouldn't even want to sit down and eat with you, read.
Wow.
For that is an abomination unto the Egyptians.
You're an abomination to the Egyptians.
That's right.
Yet you want to walk around wearing they unk and all this other stuff. They hate you.
They hate you.
They don't want to. Bro,
the dynasties that they had there was not our history.
Right.
It just goes into our captivities. In all of those dynasties, we were slaves.
Right.
We were slaves. We were not pharaohs. Only a few were pharaohs, like Joseph, like Moses. You had a few of them that were pharaohs, but at the end of the day, we were not Egyptian.
Right.
We were not family or kin to the Egyptians.
That's
they
right.
still had us as slaves. Why do you think Moses started saying, I don't want to be an Egyptian anymore? Because I've realized I'm a Hebrew.
Right.
I'm a Jew. Right? Let's read that real quick. Let's get that in Hebrews chapter 11 and verse, what's that, 23?
Let's go.
Watch this.
And he ain't want to get
23.
peed on the
Yes,
head
sir.
no more either.
Say again?
I said he didn't want to get peed on the head no more either by them
Oh,
cows.
24. That's 24.
He was
The book
learned
of-
in all the wisdom of the Egyptians.
I think it's verse
The book
24.
of Hebrews, chapter 11 and verse 24. By faith,
Whatever that
Moses,
wisdom is.
when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter.
You see that? He was like, I'm not an Egyptian. He refused to be called an Egyptian. Come on.
Choosing rather to suffer
But yet, you know what's crazy? He was a Pharaoh.
Right.
He was raised as Pharaoh's son. But when he came to the knowledge of who he really was,
Right.
he repented and put the ankh away.
Right.
He put the cowpea away.
That's right.
He put the cookie
witchcraft.
in the lip,
Yep.
the bowl in the lip. He put all that away.
Hallelujah.
He put it all away. Read.
choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of God.
Why? Because he belonged to the people of God.
Right.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? How did they know he was a Jew? Because he was circumcised.
That's right.
And that's a custom that only the Jews do. Read.
Than to enjoy the pleasure of sin for a season.
Because that's what the Egyptians do. They live their lives full of lasciviousness, lewdness, evil, fornication, adultery, incest, pedophilia, idolatry. All manner of evil. So he learned the true knowledge and said, you know what, hold on, I'm an Israelite. I need to repent for my ways.
That's right.
So guess what? You can too. You're not Egyptian.
That's right.
You're 5'4".
Right. Hey, get that in Judith 5 and 11 also, because you said something heavy. You said that our brothers and our sisters, they want to cleave to the Egyptian customs, right? But not knowing that the Egyptians oppressed us. They had us as slaves. Okay, so we need to come up out of that understanding, that mindset that we are Egyptian, that we want to cleave to them, because we are the true royalty.
That's
the Israelites
right.
are the true royalty, the kings and priests of the earth.
That's right.
Always have been and always will be. All right, read that. Judith
The
5
book
and
of
11.
Judith, chapter 5 and verse 11. Therefore the king of Egypt rose up against them.
Come on.
And dwelt subtly with them, and brought them low with laboring in brick, and made them slaves.
And made them slaves.
Damn.
Okay, so that's what they did to us. All right, so we're going to go back to cause we showed the map, right? We showed the map showing how Israel was scattered all throughout Africa, and we built up cities, right? Watch this. Go back to the book, Babylon and Timbuktu. Go back to the other page. Go forward, yep. Let's read that.
The black Jews had an advantage over the African tribes. They carried their culture.
Their what?
Their culture.
Come on.
History, laws, and written records with them.
Stop. Look at that first sentence. The black Jews had advantage over Africa. I thought
it was the
blacks
same.
and African tribes are the same. They're not the same.
That's right.
There's a difference between Ham and Shem. Okay, we are Shemitic.
That's right.
That's
All right?
right.
We come from Israel.
Right.
The African tribes come from Ham.
Right.
I mean, it's letting you know right there that they're not the same. We were even created differently. We had an advantage over the African tribes. Read.
This assured them a constant precedent for the development of a higher social organization. Because of the stability of the black Jewish culture, the Jews were not absorbed into the autochthonous population.
Come on.
In fact, the Jews absorbed some of the native tribes.
You hear what the Bible says? The Jews absorbed some of the native tribes. This is what happened to us. This is how we learn their ways. We learn their works. Okay, come on.
The Jews made use of every opportunity. They were an industrious and skillful people. In the Jewish Ghanaian states were found kings, princes, governors, generals, secretaries, treasurers, revenue agents, judges, architects, engineers, doctors, historians, language interpreters, mathematicians, jewelers, sculptors, masons, carpenters, painters of art, goldsmiths, leather workers, potters, armorers, saddlers, blacksmith, agriculturists, etc.
Wow. So it says that the Jews absorbed some of their native tribes. Get that in Psalms.
The book of Psalms, chapter 106 and verse 35.
Start at verse 34.
34. They did
Start
not.
at 28.
Yes, sir. The book of Psalms, chapter 106, verse 28. They joined themselves also unto Baal Peor and ate the sacrifices of the dead.
Jump down to verse 34.
Verse 34. They did not destroy the nations concerning whom the Lord commanded them, but were mingled among the heathen and learned their works.
And they learned their works. That's right. This is what happened to us, okay? Right. This is what happened. The Bible's letting you know plain and clear. All right?
Hey, officer,
yeah, go ahead, officer.
Yes, sir. Let's get Daniel, chapter 1, 3, and 4 to show that what that book is saying about Israel is true. We just going to back it up with the scriptures.
Right, right.
We've always been the best at everything. You understand? Like I said, we came and established our own culture there. And they
That's right.
The book of Daniel, chapter 1 and verse 3. And the king spake unto Ashpenaz, the master of his eunuchs, that he should bring certain of the children of Israel, and the king's seed, and of the princes.
So we are the king's seed. We are the real, true royalty on this earth, not Egypt. Come on.
That's right.
Children in whom was no blemish.
Meaning what? They were good looking. There was nothing wrong with us. And what tribe this is? Judah. Just to put that out there. Come on.
But well favored.
But
well favored.
Let's go.
And skillful in all wisdom.
And what?
And skillful in all wisdom.
Skillful in all wisdom. Come on.
And cunning in knowledge.
Come on.
And understanding science.
And understanding what?
Science.
So yes, the Egyptians are not the establishers of understanding science. We understood all science. Even our forefather Abraham taught Hamites science and mathematics. Come on.
That's right.
That's
and
right.
such as had ability in them to stand in the king's palace.
To have ability to stand in the king's palace, man, you couldn't be no weak brothers. You understand? To stand in the place of the king, you had to be able to what? Defend the king. Come on.
That's right.
And whom they might teach the learning and tongue of the Chaldeans.
That they might what?
And whom they might teach the learning and tongue of the Chaldeans.
So what? We were well favored in science, knowledge, ability to stand in the king's palace. Right? That's the children of Israel. Right. That is how we were able to go there and establish all of these things. That's how we were able to bring all these skills, learning, and knowledge with us. You understand? We established greatness.
Hey,
not him.
All praise to the Most High.
right.
That's what's called giving a sense right there.
Right.
You read something, reference it in the book, and go and find it in the main primary source, the KJV 1611.
That's right.
And you connect the dots, and you see that we ain't telling no lies here. The Bible lets you know that we were a stronger nation.
That's right.
We had the understanding, okay? And we educated the other nations.
Right. And also at the event that we was at today, the Taste of Africa, the people had a problem with us going precept upon precept. They couldn't take it. They didn't want the smoke, man.
They told,
close the Bible. Now the sister told me, yeah, close the Bible. I want to hear from you.
Oh, yeah, it was you. She said, no, you can't be going here a little and there a little.
Right, right.
And you got the same exact precept that said, no, go here a little, there a little, line upon line, line
Swinging
upon
the
line.
sword.
She was like, give me John 3:16.
Oh, man.
Over, bro.
Bloodshed everywhere, man.
Come on
Spiritually.
now,
Man, you cannot stand against this truth.
That's right.
All right. All right. So all praise to the Most High. All right. We're 1 hour in Israel. We got a lot more where that came from. All right. So keep your papers, pens, notepads out. All right, the officers right now dropping some really good information and knowledge. So please stay tuned. We'll be back with WCO.
And when the day of Pentecost was fully come, they were all with one accord in one place. And suddenly there came a sound from heaven, as of a rushing mighty wind, and it filled all the house where they were sitting. And there appeared unto them cloven tongues like as of fire, and it sat upon each of them, and they were all filled with the Holy Ghost, and began to speak with other tongues as the Spirit gave them utterance. And they were dwelling at Jerusalem, Jews, devout men, out of every nation under heaven. Now when this was noised abroad, the multitude came together and were confounded, because that every man heard them speak in his own language. And they were all amazed and marveled, saying one to another, Behold, are not all these which speak Galileans? And how hear we every man in our own tongue, wherein we were born? Psalms 19, verse 3. There is no speech nor language where their voice is not heard.
Hagen ni parole, hagen lang, côté, yo pas tande voix yo.
La kalm wala local la dismoy fi hat sotahu.
No hay lenguaje, ni palabras, ni es oída su voz.
ಮಾತುಗಳಿಲ್ಲದಿದ್ದರೆ ಭಾಷೆಗಳಿಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ಧ್ವನಿಯನ್ನು ಕೇಳದಿದ್ದರೆ.
Il n'y a ni allocution, ni langage où leur voix n'est pas entendue.
Нет ни речи, ни голоса, где не был слышен их голос.
Shihen, Jukyu no Sansetsu. Rasu koto naku, kataru koto naku, sono koi mo kikoenai no ni.
Senza discorsi e senza parola non è voce che si possa udire.
Não há discurso, nem linguagem, onde sua voz não seja ouvida.
Israel united in Christ from corners to countries, gathering the 12 tribes of Israel. We gonna take the world.
Hey, Most High in Christ, bless Israel, Bishop of that. Yeah, some of you call me the general, and I appreciate that term, but today we're going to find out if I'm a true general or not. في متى 28 أمر المسيح بالتأديب اذهبوا إلى كل الأمم وعمدوهم باسم الآب والابن والروح القدس وعلمهم أن ينتبهوا بغض النظر عما أوصيك بفعله كما نعلم فإن 12 قبيلة من إسرائيل كما قال يعقوب 1:1 منتشرة في جميع أنحاء العالم جميع البلدان من تجارة الرقيق جنوب الصحراء الكبرى إلى تجارة الرقيق عبر المحيط الأطلسي. حسناً، سنتعامل مع ذلك. Das Evangelium wurde überall gepredigt, doch es gibt noch viel zu tun. Okay, im Tu. Korintherbrief Kapitel 10, rund um Vers 16. Ich glaube, Paulus hat gesagt, man solle das Evangelium in Regionen jenseits seiner selbst predigen und sich nicht mit der Arbeit anderer Männer rühmen. Wir wollen nicht damit prahlen, dass kein anderes Lager so hoch arbeitet, dass wir auf eine Mission berufen werden. Wir müssen diese Mission erfüllen. Ik heb je moedig, dapper en gedurft nodig, Diakenen, Kapiteins, Offizieren, Soldaten, op te staan en jezelf waardig te tonen voor deze waarheid. Oké, dus wat ik kan doen, ik kan je iets laten zien. Yoku kite, kono chizu o miseru. Kanada ni wa ikutsuka no gako arimasu. Amerika no itaru tokoro ni mo aru. Takaki kami ni kanshashimasu. Tsugi wa Mekishiko ni hairu. No tenemos ninguna base todavía aquí. Entiende, no tenemos fundamento. Tenemos enseñanzas, pero ningún fundamento. El Altísimo nos acaba de permitir abrir una escuela aquí en Ecuador. Pero escucha, mira, no tenemos fundamento en estas áreas. Está bien, tenemos algunas enseñanzas, pero ningún fundamento. Sin fundamento, necesitamos llegar a toda Argentina y Chile. Tuna shule kadhaa katika bara la Afrika kutoa sifa zote kadoliwe walio juu zaidi kadoliwe hilo shule kadhaa tunazo hapa, lakini hiyo haitoshi. Tunahitaji shule nyingi zaidi za ukweli wa Injili inayofundishwa sawa. Tunahitaji kugonga maeneo haya Madagascar hata Zambia, Angola sawa. Ndio tunaanza msingi hapa Jamhuri ya Kidemokrasia ya Congo. D'accord, nous n'avons rien. Oh, nous aussi nous avons l'Europe. Pas encore de fondation en Espagne, une petite école France. L'Allemagne nous en faut plus. Il y a plus de travail à faire, plus de travail à faire. Eka, आणि या भागात कोणतीही मूलभूत शिकवण नाही. जेव्हा मी पाया म्हणतो तेव्हा मला शाला म्हणतात. मी एक माणूस एक संपूर्ण गेला याचा अर्थ असा नाही इकडे क्षेत्र आणि बाकी काहीतरी शिकवले. मी बोलत आहे की कोणताही पाया नाही या प्रदेशात सुवार्ता शिकवली जात आहे. म्हणून आम्हाला आवश्यक आहे तेथे सत्य शिकवायचे. ठीक आहे. अगदी ऑस्ट्रेलिया. आमचे काही लोक इथे आहेत ऑस्ट्रेलियामध्ये. ठीक आहे. न्यूगिनी, इंडोनेशिया, सुमात्रा, व्हिएतनाम. ठीक आहे. या प्रदेशामध्ये आहेत इस्रायली पाया नाही. सत्य सुवार्ता शिकवली पाहिजे की आपल्या लोकांना या प्रदेशात विखुरलेले आहेत. Está bem a partir do momento do comércio subsaariano de escravos. Compreende isso. Compreende isso, Israel. Compreende isto. Muito trabalho a fazer. Muito trabalho a fazer. Allora Israele, ho bisogno di alcuni volontari. Ho bisogno che alcuni di voi uomini potenti si alzino in piedi. Diaconi, capitani, ufficiali, soldati, alzatevi. Ho bisogno di volontari per questa missione.
Shalom, brothers and sisters, Most High in Christ bless. We want to thank you all for following Isaiah 11 ministry. We're here to inform you that the local Sabbath classes will now be available in all languages. All of the classes from the bishops, deacons, and captains will now be available in all languages. As it says in Isaiah chapter 11 verse 12, says that the Most High shall set up an ensign for the people. Stay tuned. Most High in Christ bless you all.
That's right. All praise.
All praise.
We are back. All
That's right.
praises, man. Them commercials are fire, man. Salute to the General, Bishop Nathaniel.
That's right.
Bishop Yawasab, Bishop Kanan.
That's right.
The deacons, the captains. All praise to the Most High in Christ, man. So, hey, we're back. I'm Officer Hales.
Officer Razes.
Officer Asahel.
Officer Kilaya.
Officer Gedaliah.
Officer Joshua.
And with that, we make up
WCO.
That's right. So we get right back into it. Let's post up the next article. We going into Martyrs of the Motherland.
Wait, hold on, Officer. Slow your roll.
I'm ready, man.
I know you're ready, Officer.
bro.
I'm ready to go. Full throttle.
Let's
but
go.
we got
Talk to us.
name that tribe.
Oh yeah.
We gotta open up with some comedy
Okay.
relief, you know.
All right,
so.
let's post it. Let's post it for the
Hey,
people.
drop that thumbnail, y'all. I mean that intro.
Name that tribe. All right, so brothers and sisters online, we need y'all to, in the comment section, please let us know what tribe you may feel this is. Let us know what tribe you think this is.
Pick your head up, sis. Pick your head up.
Name that tribe. All righty. So let's post it here for the people to see.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Voy a cantar una canción que ya llevo mucho tiempo ensayando porque yo voy a hacer la música y voy a cantar a la vez también.
So he said he gonna sing?
Y es algo muy difícil, pero al que guste lo puedo enseñar.
Oh, he said he can
No
teach
cobro, yo no cobro.
So I'm not gonna
Y
charge
dice
you.
así.
That's how it goes.
Cuan, 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 cuan. Cuan, 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 cuan. Cuan, 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 cuan.
What tribe is this?
Ya está cerrada con tres
Yo, what
candados
tribe is
y remachada la puerta negra. Queen, queen, porque tus padres están
Yo, they saying it's
celosos
Zebulon. They saying
y
it's
tienen
Issachar.
miedo que yo te quiera.
Nah, that's Issachar all day.
Cuan, 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 cuan.
All right, hey, put the
That's
other
enough.
one on. Put the other one on.
enough.
Hold on.
Issachar,
I think
man.
it's the same brother in the next video we gonna play. I think it's the same brother.
Oh man.
Do we have that?
Northern Kingdom got one today.
The brother, he got the Iron Sheiks on, the Iron Sheik shoes.
Bruh.
What tribe is this, family? Please help us out.
They saying Issachar,
They
bro.
saying Issachar.
Issachar gotta take this one.
I really believe. I think it's a dead giveaway. I mean,
Issachar
unless
is
it's
Zebulon,
Asher.
bro.
Hey,
Nah, it's
I think Asher.
Asher too
No, not
proper.
that
I'm
one.
telling you, I lived with Asher, bro. They
not
too
that
proper,
one. It was
bro.
the one.
It was the other one.
I'm looking at the hairstyle. Oh.
Hey, I see
tell
some
you,
sisters
it's
in the
Issachar
audience holding their
Zebulon.
head down.
Why they say
Some
Dan?
sisters had their head down.
Somebody said Dan in the comments.
Whoa!
Hey, I ain't never
Nah, they
seen a
said
head wrap that
Ephraim.
reached the
Nah,
chin.
that ain't Ephraim.
They said That's Ephraim.
Nah.
Nah,
That's,
nah,
I'm
that
telling you,
ain't
that's
Ephraim, nah.
Zebulon or
They
Issachar,
doing that in
bro.
New York and Miami?
Oh, this dude right here?
Check
Now we're not pulling this one
I
up.
tagged you in the channel in Soldier Zeal.
Come on,
Oh,
IT.
tech team, you're killing us. I think this video was the same brother that was singing a cappella. Yeah, that's the one. Here you go right here. Here you go. He's back,
he is
y'all.
the car. Yeah,
He's
the
back
car,
at it
wait.
again.
Hey, he touring?
He back.
Yo,
He
touring.
touring now.
Oh,
He's
sometimes,
touring.
you know, anybody get a deal now.
Hey, he got a deal.
And they give everybody a deal now.
He got a deal now. Let's see what he doing. Drop that.
Look at the shoe game.
Come on, y'all. Where's the
Hey,
music?
Hold on. You gotta
Look at the
You have
boy.
to
make sure
refresh
the tab
man.
is not muted.
Hey, he looking clean though. He got the Iron Sheik 11s.
Hey, look at my boy.
Refresh
Look
the
at them
screen for the
boys.
replay.
Boy, he Spartan kick you. It's a wrap.
Over with.
Come on, IT.
Zoom
Bro,
in
what's
on
up
that.
with the shoes?
Bro, he got a deal, bro. They gave him a deal.
That's it.
Oh, snap.
Oh yeah, he is the car. He is the car.
Yeah,
Hands
it's a
down.
car, bro. He got a deal,
Hands
bro.
down, bro.
They gave him a deal. He got a record deal. He bought some shoes with his 360 deal.
Bruh. It's like he tried to lean like Michael Jackson and got stuck or something. I don't know what's happening.
What is going on in WCO? All right, let's get back to the title, y'all.
So that was named that trial. It's a car you gotta hold that. It's a car you gotta hold that, man. Hold that, it's a car. That's for y'all right there. All right? So hey, let's pull back up the thumbnail of the show. Let's pull that thumbnail back up. All right, we about to get into it.
That was rough.
Yeah, that was.
There you go. Martyrs of the Motherland.
That's right.
All right, Martyrs of the Motherland. So we gonna go into it. All right. So what we got next, IT? Let's pull up the videos. A Scramble Africa. Yep.
All praises.
You got the timestamps?
Yes, sir. Up at the top. All right, IT. Let's make sure we in the spirit. All right.
Please.
So everybody, like y'all saw, what we did, we just laid the groundwork. What we wanted to show y'all is how Israel actually got into Africa and we were scattered about. We were actually there, all right? Because one of the things that we want y'all to take away from this particular episode is that the same struggles that we dealing with over here in America and in South America, right? It's the same thing our brothers are dealing with over there in Africa, in Europe. So we're all connected, right? So we all got hit by those curses, all right? So we're gonna go through a little bit of history with the videos and kind of show y'all what's going down, all right? So let's get that first timestamp where we're gonna talk about when Europe actually captured Africa, all right? Let's turn it up. Turn it up.
Whether in bustling cities or remote villages, the 1880s and 90s were years of terrifying upheaval in Africa.
People were killed. Villages were destroyed. Political systems were completely destroyed. Leaders were arrested, put in jail.
Fleet upon fleet of foreign soldiers armed with new weaponry and a sense of entitlement descended as if overnight.
That was traumatizing.
This was a face of their European trading partners people had rarely seen. United in their cause, but divided in their efforts, armed resistance failed. In the space of just 20 years, 90% of Africa was brought under European occupation.
Wow.
Europe had captured a continent.
Boom.
90% of
90%.
the largest continent on earth.
Yep.
After only 20 years.
20 years it took them.
Yep. So this is during the around the late 1800s.
Yep.
In the 1900s. This is after the Spanish Inquisition had taken place. We done got shipped and scattered all over the place. So now we get into the scramble of Africa, y'all, all right? So after 20-something odd years, they took over, what, 90% of the continent?
90%.
That's crazy.
So what they're doing is they fighting for the resources of Africa. I remember Deacon Isaac, he played a video of this Edomite in France. I don't know if it was the president, it was somebody up there in France, and he said that France would be a third world country without Africa.
Right. Right.
Yup.
That's
He said it would be a third world country if they
a
didn't.
real third world
Yes,
country.
right.
Right.
Because sometimes they try to say that Africa's a third world country.
No.
But can y'all give me that video real quick for the third world country, what this Edomite said. I'm gonna post it. I mean, I already posted it, but I'm gonna pin it. I don't know if y'all can find it.
Hey, we coming back to that video too, so don't lose it.
All right. Y'all know which one I want? Okay, let me go. Let me get there.
So while we pull that up, just read real quick Deuteronomy 28, verse 49. Because it said they came, right? They came and ended up conquering Africa. Okay? Watch this. Deuteronomy 28, 49.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth.
As swift as the eagle fly. We know the white man's symbol is that eagle. Come on.
That's right.
A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
Read.
A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young.
That's what the brother said in the video. They came fierce, right? Killed their leaders, took over the land. Come on, read on.
Verse 51. And he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land until thou be destroyed.
And that's what happened to Africa. Y'all got the video, IT?
I pinned it on discussions.
He just pinned it. All right, read on. Read it from the top, verse 51.
And he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land until thou be destroyed.
Read.
Which also shall not leave thee either corn, wine, or oil, or the increase of thy kind, or flock of thy sheep, until he have destroyed thee.
That sounds like all the resources that are found in Africa.
Right.
You can find all those resources in Africa. The man, they stole it. All right, let's play that.
The third world is not poor. You don't go to poor countries to make money. There are very few poor countries in this world. Most countries are rich. The Philippines are rich. Brazil is rich. Mexico is rich. Chile is rich. Only the people are poor. But there's billions to be made there, to be carved out and to be taken. There's been billions for 400 years. The capitalist European and North American powers have carved out and taken the timber, the flax, the hemp, the cocoa, the rum, the tin, the copper, the iron, the rubber, the bauxite, the slaves, and the cheap labor. They have taken out of these countries. These countries are not underdeveloped, they're overexploited.
He cooking. He is cooking, bruh.
Let Esau tell it.
I'll tell you.
Esau tell it.
Esau got to tell you. Then you believe it when Esau say it.
Right.
Okay.
So that goes to show you, man, that when we go into these our countries where our brothers and sisters are and they're in deplorable conditions, like Ghana, Liberia, Sierra Leone, Nigeria, we understand that it's not because those countries are poor, it's because our people are being exploited.
That's right.
Our people are being exploited.
That's right. All right, so let's go back to the main video. Let's go to the next. Go ahead, Officer.
Yeah, let's get that next timestamp at 3. Hey, and this right here, so we just saw how they went there, they exploited them, right? They captured Africa, right? And it's so interesting. Listen to what Esau says. He thinks it was a natural thing to colonize. And of course he would, because that's how Esau's made, to conquer and be a vagabond. So it's just, and then when they felt that way, it legalized the scramble, right? Watch what they did.
Right from the word go. They wanted to sell their labor. From Malawi and northern Rhodesia, they used to go down into South Africa. You had a movement of people. People wanted to learn. They wanted to meet each other. So it was a natural thing that the outside world should get involved with Africa.
But the scramble for Africa wasn't just about economics. Colonialism had become the fast track to political supremacy in Europe. Britannia may have ruled the waves, but Germany was rising after victory in the Franco-Prussian War. Meanwhile, the defeated French Empire sought to regain its glory, and a new unified Italy was also growing in strength. Europe was a continent in the ascendancy, whose nations were vying for supremacy. And back in Africa, their competing imperial armies were pushing inland. And this looked set to bring them into major confrontation. The rival powers convened around a conference table in the German capital, and in February 1885 signed the Act of Berlin, an agreement to abolish slavery and allow free trade. But the act also drew new borders on the map of Africa, awarding territory to each European power and turning trading partners into subjects of empire. It legalized the scramble for Africa.
Boom. So, wow. You see that? So they had all this turmoil, right? And the world was starting to go against slavery and everything, right? And then the powers that be, they was trying to, who's gonna be the top dog, basically. So they started fighting and stuff. It's like, hey, all right, we finna abolish slavery, but we can't let them go. We gotta evolve the system a little bit, right? So let's look at what happened. You have something on that, officer?
No. Go ahead. Let's bring up this next clip to explain more in detail, in depth about the scramble to Africa. Yep. Let's play that.
Arrested right now for stealing a car. You going to the county jail.
Have you ever wondered how Africa came to be divided up?
Two things playing. All right.
Have you ever wondered how Africa came to be divided up and colonized by a bunch of European countries? If you've never heard of the Berlin Conference of 1884, you're about to get a window into the very definition of audacity. Leaders from 13 European countries, plus the US and Ottoman Empire, decided to hold a conference in Berlin in 1884 to decide what countries got to rule various regions of the African continent. Belgium's King Leopold decided that Africa was the next big territory that needed to be exploited for its natural resources and land. Germany's Chancellor Otto von Bismarck decided that rather than go to war over it, it would be much more civil to call a meeting with 15 countries to divide the continent up, like gentlemen, if you will. No African leaders were invited to participate. The scramble for Africa marked a 20-year period of pillaging, exploiting, dividing, and conquering nearly every part of the African continent to establish territories for material gain and power for 7 European nations. The audacity. By 1975, more than 40 African countries had finally gained their independence through war, diplomacy, and protest. But the effects of that decades-long siege had a devastating impact on the continent that is still being felt today.
Hey,
Wow.
real quick. Whoa. One thing that really struck a chord with me with what she was saying was how it just shows you the disrespect and just the disregardness that they have towards those leaders or those men that are supposed to be dignitaries and have a say-so in their own country.
Right.
They said, no, we're just gonna have a meeting
without y'all.
Without you,
Yep.
right? Give me Habakkuk chapter 2, and let's read verse 4.
The book of Habakkuk, chapter 2 and verse 4.
You know what's crazy, man, is these people, these Edomites, known as Caucasians, right? To our people that don't understand who they are biblically, they play on a whole nother level. They on a whole nother level on that chessboard. We play basketball, we play football, you know what I'm saying? And they play,
Death and destruction.
ruling the earth.
Yep.
Right.
Conquer.
They play ruling the earth. We play music and twerking and all that. They play, true power.
Right.
Even if they got hit by any means necessary.
Also, basically, what it sounds like, they playing Monopoly for real. We play Monopoly at the house, but they're really playing Monopoly with the earth.
There you go. Come on, read
The book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 4.
Go ahead.
Behold, his soul, which is lifted up, is not upright in him.
So when God created every nation, he didn't make them equal. He did not make them the same. You know what I'm saying? People, we all bleed red. So do snakes.
Damn.
What's your point? Like, God did not create the eagle to be equal to the falcon. The shark to be equal with the whale. They're both fish, but they're not the same.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So even the human race, God severed the nations. And when he took certain nations, he said, this nation, I'm going to make sure his soul is not upright in him. You can't love him to death. Because what God created, you don't have the power to change. Read that.
Behold, his soul, which is lifted up, is not upright in him.
Read.
But the just shall live by his faith.
Come on.
Yea, also, because he transgresseth by wine.
By wines, his policies, the laws, his decrees. Read.
He is a proud man.
See that? We're not going to talk to none of these leaders. We're going to do what we feel like we want to do. We're the bullies of the earth. Come on.
Neither keep it at home.
Oh yeah, Africa. Yeah, I thought they supposed to belong to America. Right. They're from the Caucasus Mountains, ain't they?
Right.
But they don't keep at home. Come on.
Who enlargeth his desire as hell.
Read.
And is as death.
And is as death, because everywhere they go, they take over. How? Through stealing and robbery.
Right.
Keep reading.
And cannot be satisfied.
And he cannot be satisfied. He wants all of Africa.
Everything.
He wants everything. Come on.
But gathereth unto him all nations.
And he wants to include the East Indians, the Arabs, but he wants them all to be under subjection to him as well.
Yep.
Come on, read.
And heapeth unto him all people.
That's the melting pot. That's what they've incorporated here in Babylon the Great, known as the US of A. Read.
Shall not all these take up a parable against him?
Read.
And a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his.
They're trying to increase in Africa, but Africa don't belong to them.
Right.
But the Bible says destruction will come to these people because Africa does not belong to you. Just like the West Caribbean islands didn't belong to you. Just like North, Central, and South America and Canada didn't belong to you.
Right.
So what's coming to them according to the Bible? Woe, destruction. Finish that off.
That's right. Woe to him that increaseth that which is not his.
Read.
How long? And to him that laden himself with thick clay.
Meaning he lades himself with thick clay, he brings himself all people.
That's right. And obviously, I was going to say, not only that, if they're not bringing the people to them, they influence them with their ways, right? With their culture, right? The American culture or the Esau's way of life is heavily influenced throughout all four corners of the earth.
There's a scripture that talks about that, how Moab is very heavily influenced by Esau, right? When I was in Korea, they was blonde and their hair yellow. And we're talking about Ammonites out there.
The hell is this? And even with the Moabites and Ammonites, how they dressed, that when they come over here, they had their so-called fashion with the silk and all that, but when they come here, they get indoctrinated. You see them shave their face. They wear the suits and the ties.
Suits and ties. Prioritize English, not Mandarin and Cantonese.
Yep.
Yeah,
they married a white woman. All nations, they all do it, okay? So let's go back to the main video. Let's get some more meat off that. To the main video. What minute mark we at, officer?
5:25.
Yeah,
so as she said, like none of the leaders there none of the African leaders were there at the actual conference. So these people out here carving up their land and everything like that, right? So on this clip here, we're gonna show you just a small detail of what exactly happened when they carved up the land though, right? Watch what they did.
What it did was it carved up what are thought to have been about between 6,000 and 10,000 political units in Africa, and they were then carved up, often cutting peoples in half, water tables just sort of cut off from their sources. It was complete geographical madness. Simply drew lines on the map, places where they had not even been yet. They had no idea what was there.
Africans were not aware that there were conferences being organized in Berlin to determine about them. No, they did not know about it.
Hey, pause it real quick, because that's some evil stuff, man.
Yeah.
Turn us down a little bit. The people didn't even know what was going on. Read that real quick in Micah chapter 2, verse 1, man. I'm telling you, the mind of this man, like you said, officer, his soul ain't right. The man ain't right. There's no way you could change this man. This man would never love you. This man would never save you. All he does is rape, rob, and murder, and kill your people, man. Steal, that's all he does. Okay? Watch this, read.
The book of Micah chapter 2, verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds.
That's what they did with that conference.
Right.
Okay? That's what they worked iniquity. They devised evil, how they can take over a whole continent.
Right.
Okay? And they knew what people was there. Right. They knew the children of Israel was there. Right. They knew that we was there. They knew that. Read.
When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand.
Come on.
And they covet fields and take them by violence.
That's what they do. They covet field. They said they just was drawing lines to lands they never even been to. Right. Just started drawing up lines. Yo, we taking over this. France, you getting this. Germany, Belgium. We all gonna get a piece of the pie. Yep. Okay, read on.
And take them by violence.
Read.
And houses. And take them away.
Come on.
So they oppress a man and his house. Even a man and his heritage.
And that's what they have done to us. To the children of Israel. To the 12 tribes of Israel. They have oppressed our heritage, man. That's a damn shame.
And he's still doing it today. It's known as silent gentrification. Right. Silent gentrification. We out here trying to be rap artists, We're trying to be the next football player while they're taking our homes, they're taking our lands, they've taken everything right up under our noses, pushing us out of our countries, and we just too worried about the Super Bowl and the NBA Finals.
The hell
and
is this?
Atlanta Housewives.
Hey, officer, to the point where they took in our identity.
Right.
They stole our identity.
All people don't even care. They're like, whatever. You know what's crazy is that in order for you to, we always say Black lives matter, right? Black and brown lives matter, right? In order for you to love your people, you have to have foresight and plan out generations ahead. We live in the moment because we say YOLO. These people, they know that what they're doing eventually, if they continue with their plans the way it's going, 300 to 400 years from now, if Christ obviously don't come back, right? They will have owned everything. They would have pushed us completely out, and we would have nothing to our name because they think hundreds of years out.
I was gonna say, officer, a prime example of it is Willie Lynch.
There you go.
He said that in the
there
letter.
You go.
He said, "Lest some phenomenon occur."
Right.
That plan was gonna last at least 400 years. So
that phenomenon is that purple and gold, boy.
That right.
Put some respect on it, man. That purple and gold is that phenomenon.
That's
Ezekiel
right.
37. Oh, praise
right.
Hey,
yeah, go ahead, Officer Kila.
Yes, sir. Real quick. When we was looking at the video earlier, it said that like the first beginning of the timestamp, it said that when Esau first came, they wanted to trade with them, right? Our people wanted to trade. Why? Because the video, officer, you pulled up earlier said the country's not poor, but the people are. So Esau came in with their little flashy things, showing our people things, and we started trading with them, right? Then it said all of a sudden the people they became partners with, they became their subjects because Esau is playing on a whole nother level. We don't even know what's going on behind closed doors. Can we get Psalms 55 real fast?
So, Officer Kila, you saying Esau the real hustler.
The real hustler.
He got the
Real
gift
pimp.
of gab.
Right.
So the black man ain't got no talk game. Not like them.
Right.
They the real hustlers, man.
And that's exactly what the scripture's going to say.
Hey, and Officer Kila, what you're saying is so heavy, though, because he did the same thing to the Native American Indians,
Exactly.
bro.
Yes,
He did
sir.
the same exact thing, bro.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, Officer. You in the
Yes,
spirit.
sir. Get that 55 in verse 20.
The book of Psalms, chapter 55 and verse 20. He hath put forth his hand against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant.
He broke his covenant. When he came over, he said, hey, this is what we're going to do. We're just going to trade together. We're going to be partners. He broke that covenant and started putting 90% of Africa under subjection. Read.
The words of his mouth were smoother than butter. But war was in his heart.
But war was in his heart. We saw back in France, they were getting the army together. They were getting ready to march on in. Read.
Right.
His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords.
But yet were they drawn swords. So now we're seeing that parallel, like you said, Officer Raz, we're seeing that parallel between Northern Kingdom and our brothers in Africa.
Fire, fire, fire. Go ahead, Officer Goliath. Where we at?
So we saw a quick little snapshot of what they did. They cut off the resource. Like, you got to imagine, man, like the water table, for example. So your community, your province and everything, this is where y'all was getting water from. They just like, nope, this belongs to France, this belongs to Belgium. Like, they just went in there and just cut people off their resources. And then, like we saw earlier, what did they start doing? They started sending in the religion. The church partnerships began. So, and there was one demon that was sitting at that meeting by the name of King Leopold. But before we get that, let's play this real quick. 7.
We have to bring them the light.
A partnership with the church in Africa offered the colonialists an insight into living conditions and the social services.
Rewind it. Look what they doing, man. That's some evil stuff. When they were sitting.
Partnership with the
keep going, keep playing.
church in Africa offered the colonialists an insight into
Pause it
living
right there. Put it back on the screen, y'all. So that's them teaching us their religion, whatever they doing, they got us sitting down, just like it says in Jeremiah that we sat for the Arabians. We did the same thing for Esau. We did the same thing, indoctrinated us, man. Play on.
social services that would be expected of a supposedly benevolent empire. but it also delivered a moral pretext. Europe had long harbored an image of the dark continent, wild, exotic, and in need of enlightenment. For Christian missionaries and for many colonialists, their project was a humanitarian one.
I didn't see the colonial service as
Oh
my God.
So they tried to say it was a humanitarian.
Right.
Remember who said it yesterday on the class? I think Bishop Nathaniel. You cannot take turd and polish it.
Right.
I don't care if you put sprinkles on it, try to make it look cute. It's still a turd.
Bring it out.
You know what I'm saying? So they're over here robbing us, raping us, sickening us with their diseases, indoctrinating us with their Christianity, white supremacy, and white Jesus. And they're saying that I guess they're looking at us as uncivilized, exotic, in need of, what did he say? Of enlightenment.
Civilization.
That is a slap in the face, man.
This is all a Jedi mind trick because we
it
just
is.
read there were architects, accountants. So this is the imagery they push constantly. Like they went into the backwoods of wherever to find these tribes, but that's not who they was cutting off from the resources. People there more than likely wasn't capitalizing on those resources like that. They didn't create those kingdoms. Some of them may have, but the majority of them had infrastructure, things going on like we showed in the maps where we had kingdoms and things set.
It wasn't just they had kingdoms, they had empires, they had all that stuff. Community. We was
agriculture,
we was
commerce,
rulership over there, man. Government, yep, all of that. So
you
we
saw
was
it.
not no
It said Benny from Ben Levi, Judah, Negro land. Like you saw that we were, we had some type of organization out there.
Right. So they would do that, right? So this is what they will push. They would take this imagery, push that over there in Europe, and they would indoctrinate the Jews over there, the black Jews over there, as well as their people. So when they come over on this side of the continent, they thinking, these are the what do you call it? The uncivilized people that they're dealing with.
And how do you think they're uncivilized? Because of the imagery they use to push out the little naked girl, naked boy,
propaganda
out
that they
there
was
dressed
pushing.
all, all provocative. They're like, okay, look, they're uncivilized.
Right.
So we were out there helping them. Look how we're feeding them. Like, no, you're not dealing. Those are people, like you said, Officer Get a Lie. These are people that were inside, like the woodlines, like living as.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We got people like that today living in Brazil and. You know what I'm saying? Certain parts of North America that do stuff like that. But that doesn't represent the status quo and everybody else.
Right.
But that's how they paint it, and that's the image they give us, so that a simple Negro will sit back and be like, he's doing a good thing. Yeah, look, they look malnourished. They have no clothes, so they came to help civilize them and educate them. Like, you stupid Negro, you know nothing about your history.
Right.
When I say, I'm talking about you blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
Right. Apologists.
Gotta learn who you are, man. Don't let them keep running this game on y'all.
Right. Let's play on.
Keep playing.
For Christian missionaries and for many colonialists, their project was a humanitarian one.
I didn't see the colonial service as racist. After all, I'd come across real racism in Southern Rhodesia and South Africa. Well, when I was at school in South Africa...
Pause. This damn devil, bro.
What?
He saw the damn... Check. He saw the damn devil, bro. So he's trying to compare, what they doing in South Africa was worse than what we was doing over here. No, it was all the same. It was all evil. It was all evil. Rape, rob, and murder. Okay, so don't let Esau fool, because Jake, they hear Esau say that, they go right back to sleep. You know what I'm saying?
We're going to deal with him. We're going to deal with him because he talking about that apartheid. We finna cut that in a minute.
Play that. Play on.
As racist. After all, I'd come across real racism in Southern Rhodesia and South Africa. Well, when I was at school in South Africa, I had no African friends. There was no contact between white people living in South Africa at that time and African people on a basis of equality. It was all master and servant. And these were the days of apartheid.
All right, stop. So before we get to that apartheid, let's see what that culture was, that mindset was before that, because we showed y'all they thought they was bringing the light, right? So let's get that letter, Officer
King Leopold.
The King Leopold.
Bishop Nathaniel pulled this yesterday on Sabbath class.
All praises.
Let's blow that up. And then get the images ready, y'all. We got to keep it 100 with the people. The people got to see. We are visual people, so get the images ready as well. Go ahead.
Letter from King Leopold II.
You was going to get a sense on this, right? Read.
Letters from King Leopold II of Belgium of Colonial Missionaries, 1883. Reverends, fathers, and dear compatriots, the task that is given to fulfill is very delicate and requires much tact.
I got you, officer.
All right.
Let's see. The task that is given to fulfill is very delicate and it requires much tact. You will go certainly to evangelize, but your evangelization must inspire above all Belgium interests. Your principal objective in our mission in the Congo is never to teach the niggas to know God. They know already.
Okay, so right here in this letter, which is just going along with the timeline of the class, they came in to steal the resources. First, it said earlier that they had explorers that went in, because you know Esau is always at the bottom of the sea, at the top of some mountain. They came into Africa, and then they discovered Africa is very rich in resources. So they began to relay that information back, and then they began to, let's partner, let's be business associates, which turns into, we're gonna take over. Right. So here, Leopold, during the scramble of Africa, he convinced all the members of that panel that, hey, you should give me one area. They thought he meant Belgium, but initially it was just for him personally, which he contracted out. And so he's given his reverends, fathers, and compatriots the mandate on what they're gonna go in there to do, which is promote Belgium interests. I jump down to the next highlighted area.
Your essential role is to facilitate the task of administrators and industrials.
All right, now go back up to the top and let's see who he's talking to. Reverends, fathers. These are supposed to be clergy. But now if you come down, you see your essential role is to facilitate the task of administrators. Go ahead.
And industrials, which means you will go to interpret the gospel in the way it will be the best to protect your interests in the part of the world, in that part of the world.
Right, so that's what they were doing. It had nothing to do with religion. As you saw, you're not gonna teach them anything because they know it already. You're going in there basically to facilitate a smooth transition into white takeover. That's what the point of this was.
White supremacy. Can I say something on that? So when you read, go to interpret. Let's go back, post that up again. And give me Exodus chapter 1 and verse 9. Read that real quick. Your essential role.
Your essential role is to facilitate the tasks of administrators and industrials.
Read.
Which means you will go to interpret the gospel in the way it will be best to protect your interests.
To do what?
To protect your interests.
No, for the salvation of the people.
To protect your interests.
No, to teach them that Jesus loves them.
To protect your interests.
And what else?
In that part of the world.
So the way they interpreted the gospel was Christianity, so that it benefited them. It was always for our destruction. So you know what I'm saying? It was for our destruction. Catholicism, Jehovah's wickedness, Seventh-day disadvantage, all these false religions, they were interpreting the gospel in their own way. Where we at?
The book of Exodus chapter 1 and verse 10.
I'm gonna need a couple scripts. Verse 9.
Verse 9. And he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we.
You see that? That's what they did when they went into Africa.
That's right.
There's a lot of them in Africa. They're more and mightier than us. Watch this, read.
Come on, let us deal wisely with them.
How? By interpreting the gospel in a way that it's going to benefit us so that we could take over. So that they can kill one another because they believe Jesus Christ is a white man. So they don't see Christ in one another.
The hell is this?
Finish that off.
Lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us.
That's what they're afraid of. 2 Peter 1 and 20. 2 Peter 1 and 20.
The book of 2 Peter chapter 1.
Oh, go ahead. Quick draw.
And verse 20.
Come on.
Knowing this first.
What must we know first before we begin reading the Bible and learning the Bible? Read.
Knowing this first, that no prophecy of the scripture is of any private interpretation.
But guess what our friendly neighborhood white man did? He created religion, millions of them, which are all synonymous with interpretations.
Right.
Religions and interpretations are the same. The solution in the whole Bible, from the beginning all the way to the last page, is keep the commandments.
That's right.
That's the only way. That's the solution.
That's it.
That's the end all be all. Faith in Christ. Understand Christ is a black man, and that you have to keep the commandments of God.
Right.
It's that easy. But what did we do? We went into the interpretations of our slave masters.
Hey, give me Matthew 24, verse 4, because Officer Halez, you said it. That white Jesus, I'm telling you, that thing is a dangerous, I'm telling you, that's the most evilest thing, bro.
Right.
That white Jesus, because with that, they use that to destroy the minds of the people, man. That's why every time we teach, we gotta bring out Revelation 1:14. We gotta bring out the true image of Christ, because the atrocities that they did with that image, man. What do they say? A picture speaks 1,000 words, right?
Right.
I'm telling you, that image destroyed our minds. After they raped, robbed, and murdered us physically, then they gave us the white Jesus, man. Read that, Matthew
The book of
24,
Matthew,
verse
chapter
4.
24, verse 4. And Jesus answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many.
And that's what happened on the continent of Africa. They came with another image, a false Christ. And like it says in 2 Corinthians 11:4, a false, what is it? A false Jesus,
gospel,
another gospel, another spirit, man.
That's right.
Yep. Some evil stuff behind that image. A lot of bloodshed behind that false image of Christ.
Christianity is the bloodiest
religion.
Christianity is the reason Christianity, Catholicism, all one and the same, right?
Yep.
All those Baptists and, they're all one and the same. They are the, what do you call it? They are the one primary utilized reason and weapon to go and conquer North, Central, and South America, Africa, and they're trying. Israel. They conquered many lands through what? Through their false religion of Christianity and Catholicism.
That's right.
And our people today still have the nerve to say, "I'm a Christian."
After all the bloodshed, all the evil, all the wickedness,
they still losing Africa to Christianity and Catholicism.
Have the nerve to claim to be Christian, to be Christianity and all that stuff, man.
The hell is this?
Some evil stuff. We got more on this.
Yeah. You want to get this line right here, and then you want to pull those images up. Read that second line, that third line on the screen.
Yes, sir. Can you transition it? Thank you. You have to detach from them and make them disrespect everything which gives courage to affront us.
Right. So here, this is going into the lies that you've been taught. John 3:16, God loves everybody. You would not think of these people now as your enemies, as the Bible describes them. Look at the
Just
image.
pull up the whole Google, because we don't got time for just one image. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, yep. Go to the next one.
Here, when they were oppressing our people, exploiting them, robbing them of the resources, if they were not compliant, if they were not bringing in all the stuff that they required of them, they would cut their hands off.
These were the same people teaching us Christianity.
These are the same people teaching us Christianity.
This is the light that they were giving us.
Yeah, that's the enlightenment. This is the enlightenment. Yep.
Oh, this was the humanitarian services
Right.
to civilize them and enlighten them.
Yep.
Right, also, this also is what he said was not worse than what was going on over here in America.
Right, no, in apartheid,
Apartheid, South Africa. He said
right. So he said this wasn't worse.
Right.
This wasn't worse.
Nope. There's some evil stuff right here. So let's pull up, let's drop that, pull up the apartheid video. Pull up the apartheid. There's some evil stuff, man. This thing should light a fire in you. This should make you want to go out there and teach your people, man.
Right.
It's stuff like this. Drop this, drop this. Pull up the apartheid video. Some evil stuff.
When we read it in Habakkuk where it says death and to enlarge himself,
Yes,
right? What's it say?
Death and destruction follow him.
Right, death and destruction follow him. Because what's following him everywhere he goes? Christianity and Catholicism.
Right.
They teach the same thing all around. I was telling leadership about Al Qaeda in Iraq, right? When I was deployed out there, right? How the news here in America, what would they do? They would villainize the Arabs that were in Iraq and so forth, and say, hey, and guess what? We're not condoning what they did, those suicide bombers, right? But they never showed you the reason why these suicide bombers were blowing up these hospitals and colleges. Reason they were doing it for, that the news wouldn't air out, right? Because they like to play good cop, bad cop. The reason they were doing it was because America was going in there acting as if they were producing humanitarian services. We're going to set up a college. We're going to set up a hospital. We're going to help you guys. But we're going to call it Methodist Hospital. We're going to call it
Baptist Hospital.
Yeah, we're going to call it the Baptist College. So now the way they do it is by using religion. That's how they started. And guess who was in there? They had women in there with pants. Ishmael and the Arabs don't like that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But this was, and the Caucasians know that, but they still were like, well, what are you going to do about it? We're here. Right. So what did these crazy Al Qaeda guys, Al Qaeda dudes, what did they do? They went in there, Allah Akbar, kaboom. Exactly. Exactly. But that's the part they leave out.
Right.
That's the part that Americans don't know.
That backstory, yeah.
Yep.
They always forget to tell that part.
All right, pull that up.
That bomb, though.
Apartheid in South Africa crumbled after Nelson Mandela walked to freedom. But black people suffered decades of government-backed injustice before it did. Apartheid really began in 1948, but separating black Africans from the white minority had long been a policy aim. Laws made white people officially superior, and the large black majority faced discrimination in every aspect of their lives. Living, doing business or owning land in white areas was banned. There were separate public facilities, transport and schools. Interracial marriage was banned. Many had no right to citizenship and were regarded as aliens in major cities.
Wait, pause. How are you labeled an alien in your own country, bro? That's crazy. That don't make no sense. How are you labeled an alien in your own country when the land belonged to you? Now they come into your land and say you are the alien.
The hell is this?
What you got? You got that?
Yes, sir. Lamentations.
Yeah, read that. Pull that real quick.
Lamentations 5 and 2.
Read it real quick.
The book of Lamentations, chapter 5 and verse 2. Our inheritance is turned to strangers.
Who's that stranger? The white man, so-called white man today, Esau. Come on.
Our houses to aliens.
Our what?
Our houses to aliens.
They're the real aliens. They coming in and infiltrating other countries and telling them that they're the aliens. Wow.
Play on.
Many had no right to citizenship and were regarded as aliens in major cities. Instead, they were made citizens of Bantustans, homelands scattered throughout South Africa. But resistance grew. In 1960, a huge peaceful protest against past laws ended in a massacre at Sharpeville. 69 people were killed. The deaths galvanized opposition, radicalizing liberation movements like the ANC.
There are many people who feel that it is useless and futile for us to continue talking peace and non-violence.
Open conflict erupted in the 1980s, with anti-apartheid activists frequently shot at, beaten or arrested. Mass protests were firmly put down. But little by little, the apartheid establishment crumbled. After gradual reform, Nelson Mandela, in prison since not long after Sharpeville, was set free in 1990. 4 years later, he was elected as South Africa's first black president. Apartheid had ended.
So that was a crash course history of the apartheid, all right? Crash course history of the apartheid, what happened. And Nelson Mandela, when he got out, before he went into prison, he was a strong revolutionary leader. And when he came out, he was a different man. He was a broken man. They broke that brother.
Right. While he was in jail, they did something to him where they neutralized him, and he came out a whole different person.
That's right.
Hey, in that first picture when he was young, he looked like Mike Tyson. Didn't he? Had that part like that brother looked like a fighter. He came home from prison, man. He looked like Obama. Yeah, he divorced his wife and just like, yeah, we're done with this.
Yep. Yeah. All right, so let's go on to the next. What time stamp we at?
9:51.
9:51. Yeah. So all of this led up to what we see today, the revolutionary leaders, okay? That's what we gearing up to. Play on.
was difficult
Well,
to explain.
let's jump.
Drop that. Yeah,
so we're gonna stay here. Just jump to the last segment, which is 23.
Yeah, 23.
All right. So just to get y'all up to speed, what happened was a couple of things that were happening in time, right? So basically, during World War I and II, they were recruiting a lot of our brothers. Almost like, I think it was like 250,000 of our people over there were getting recruited into the World War I and World War II efforts. And one thing started to happen was they realized, because, they was pushing, the white man was God. They thought these people were God. But they saw, you know what? These dudes is scared like us. They don't want to die. They bleed.
They die. They bleed like us.
Yep. So their mindset started to change. They're like, yo, y'all ain't the guys that y'all,
say y'all to be. Claim
to
be.
Exactly. So Malcolm X on this side of the earth was talking about their struggle. Because remember, the struggle that was happening over there is the same struggle that was happening over here.
Right.
So watch what Malcolm X was speaking on this. And then we're going to get into the revolutionaries.
Yep. 23, 26.
The European, being in the position of power, had one yardstick. He didn't use anybody else's yardstick. His yardstick was the yardstick. But what has happened, and most Europeans don't realize it, time has changed.
With this new sense of dignity and this new sense of self-respect, a new Negro came into being with a new determination to suffer, to struggle, to sacrifice, and even to die if necessary in order to be free.
And as the people in Africa and Asia get some power of their own, they get a mind of their own. The European yardstick now isn't necessarily the yardstick.
The Negro came to feel that he was somebody.
Race had emerged as the touchstone of the post-war world. By the 1950s, colonial rule had produced an elite of African nationalist intellectuals, and behind them, large, urbanized, and literate working classes.
So
fire.
I was gonna say, so after all that war, they started to wake up.
They started waking up.
It was a global phenomenon. They started to say, hey, hold up. Everybody that was under that oppression, they started to think differently. That Malcolm X movement, that Martin Luther King, all that civil rights movement, that stuff was happening over here in Africa as well.
And that's the history they don't teach. They don't show us the leaders, the revolutionary leaders, the martyrs that was here in Africa. They never taught us this history. Not until we came here in IUIC, all praises to the Most High in Christ, to put the spirit on our leadership to teach us this history, man, because never growing up did we learn this stuff. Never, okay? So let's pull up the first revolutionary leader, the first martyr. This was in 1957 to 1972. Yep, play that.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today I want to talk to you about Kwame Nkrumah, one of Africa's great leaders. Kwame Nkrumah was a revolutionary leader and the first president of Ghana. Nkrumah was a passionate advocate for African independence and unity, and played an instrumental role in leading the country to independence from British colonial rule in 1957. One of Nkrumah's key beliefs was that African nations needed to come together to form a united front in order to fully achieve independence. He called this concept Pan-Africanism, and believed that it was crucial to bringing about political and economic change on the continent. Nkrumah was also committed to improving the lives of Ghanaians. He implemented a number of social welfare programs, including free education and health care for all citizens. He also invested heavily in infrastructure projects, such as roads and hospitals, which helped to lay the foundation for Ghana's subsequent economic growth.
Fire. So that was one of the leaders. Go ahead, Eli. Speak on us a little bit. Go ahead.
Kwame Nkrumah was he took a lot of his teachings. He took a lot of it from Marcus Garvey, and a lot of that led to a lot of the things he implemented for his people
in Ghana.
In Ghana when he came back, yeah.
All praises. So that was you got something? Yeah,
No. Just real quick, Marcus Garvey from the tribe of Benjamin. All praises. A revolutionary.
Yep. Garveyites. A lot of Garveyites.
I'm telling you, we show love, man, to those brothers that die for a cause that are martyrs.
That's right.
You know
That's right.
And that's why that's the reason why we're showing these so-called African revolutionaries that were of our people, that once again they fly under the radar thanks to American Board of Education.
And the one thing they mentioned was Pan-Africanism. Like, you know, there's all these different religions and all these different avenues and programs that these leaders set up. But what you see is brothers trying to find something, look for something, because they was looking for answers.
They're looking, yeah.
They was looking for answers, and this is the only way they knew how to you know, set up
fight
for their people, man.
For the people, yeah.
This is the thing. So it's like Ezekiel 37. You see the flesh coming, the sinews, the bones, all of that coming together, but they just didn't have the spirit, the Holy Spirit.
And you know, you could tell that they were at their last wits.
Yes.
Because when I noticed the scene, I don't know if y'all saw it or y'all caught it online. When you saw a scene, there was a guy at the back of the car, and he had this big old, looked like a M16 rifle pointed at him, and they wasn't running away.
Right. Yeah,
and I'm talking about the people. They wasn't running from the gun or anything. What's everybody normally do when they see a gun? They take flight if they ain't got one.
Yep.
They were sitting there like, you know, like they was ready to die for that cause.
For that cause, yep. Different spirit.
Get that definition real quick.
Yeah, pull that up.
Martyr, a person who voluntarily suffers death as the penalty of witnessing to and refusing to renounce a religion.
Yep. Read the next one.
Yep.
Number 2, a person who sacrifices something of great value and especially life itself for the sake of a principle.
That's heavy right there.
So that's
for the sake of the principle.
That's what you see with these the martyrs in Africa, right? That was them. But with the first one was our forefathers in the scriptures. We're going to touch on that too. We're going to touch on that too. Okay, so let's go to the next martyr. The next one, Patrice Lumumba, 1958 to 1961. Let's play the next clip.
Can I get 2 precepts?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, let me get Ecclesiastes 7:7.
Yeah, bring that out.
And then Proverbs, I think it's 4.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7 and verse 7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad.
A wise man mad. A wise man mad. Go ahead.
Come on.
And a gift destroyeth the heart.
So that gift destroys our people. That's what they keep always trying to give us, gifts to put us to sleep, right? But it says wisdom or a wise man, when they see this oppression like we've been going through these martyrs, it makes them mad, right? Give me Proverbs 4 and 7.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 7. Wisdom is the principal thing.
What?
Wisdom is the principal thing.
That wisdom is the principal thing. That's what it said. These people, they started fighting for that principle. That they started getting that wisdom on them. Like, hold up, man. Why are y'all over us?
Right.
Y'all do not deserve to be over us. Right. If anything, we should be equal. But really, we know as Israel, we're supposed to be above y'all.
That's right. Therefore, get wisdom. And with all thy getting, get understanding.
And so that's what we're giving y'all now, understanding, right? Go ahead.
All right, let's play the next clip. Yep, and this one, because you're going to have to read it off Sayel. Don't put up the disclaimer for this one because we need to read the subtitles. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Patrice Lumumba, an anti-colonialist leader. Lumumba was born on July 2nd, 1925, in the Belgian Congo, now known as DRC. He was a member of the small Batatela ethnic group, a fact that became significant later in his political life. He began to write essays and poems for Congolese journals, and later became an accountant at the post office in Stanleyville. There he continued to contribute to the Congolese press. In 1956, Lumumba was invited on a study tour to Belgium. On his return, he was arrested on charge of embezzlement from the post office. He was convicted and condemned 1 year later. When he got out of prison, he launched the Congolese National Movement, MNC, the first nationwide Congolese political party. Lumumba was a nationalist Congolese leader and became the first prime minister of the independent Democratic Republic of Congo from June to September of 1960. He was assassinated on January 17, 1961. This heinous crime was a culmination of the 2 interrelated assassination plots by the U.S. and Belgium government.
Wow, so you had U.S. and Belgium plotting against him. They wanted to take him out. Why? Because he was a leader fighting for his people. They saw him as a threat. He was in the way. Patrice Lumumba was in the way. They had to let him go. They got to get him out the way. That's why in Africa you have a lot of coups, man. A lot of coups go down in Africa because why? You have a leader that does not want to be a puppet leader for U.S. or Russia or whoever the powers that be. Okay,
Right.
they don't want to be a puppet leader. So you know what? We got to move this guy out the way.
They
Kill
end up
him.
taking him out.
Take him out.
Taking him out. Poison him. Assassination. Villainized. Many ways. Goes missing.
Yeah, Lumumba was like, he was hard line. He was like, I don't want anything to do with y'all. I don't want any help from y'all. And they were like, he wrote a letter to the UN to say, hey, get these people out of the Congo, get the Belgium out of the Congo, how they're treating our people.
Right.
And they wouldn't do it. So you know what? I'm gonna go to Russia.
Yep.
He went to Russia.
Yep.
And then that's when the US and the
They
Brits
was like,
start
yo,
freaking out.
Yep.
We don't want that. We don't want Russia in here. You know, we got to keep all this for ourselves.
Yep. And Russia to get a pie. You know what I'm saying? So, yep. All praises. There's more on that?
This heinous crime was a culmination.
Hey, cut to it.
Of two interrelated assassination plots by U.S. and Belgium governments to counter the spread of pro-Soviet communism.
There you go. That's the Russians.
And to secure access to vast resources of the country.
Wow.
That's what it was all about.
It's always about their interests. It's always about the resources. Wow. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. So let's pull up the next one. Steve Biko.
Politics and religion.
Politics and religion. The two deadly weapons. 1968 to 1977. Let's read that. Play that.
Who in the world is Steve Biko? Well, Steve Biko was a South African anti-apartheid activist, leader of the Black Consciousness movement, and a martyr of the anti-apartheid struggle. Born in the Eastern Cape province in 1946, Biko grew up in a deeply segregated society and became involved in the anti-apartheid struggle while studying medicine at the University of Natal. Biko's activism centered on his Black Consciousness movement, which argued that black South Africans should be proud of their African heritage and fight for their own self-determination. He was a prominent voice in the struggle against apartheid, organising protests, student strikes and campaigns against the government's oppressive policies. He was arrested multiple times for his activism, and in 1977 he was arrested and killed while in police custody. Biko's legacy is one of courage and resilience. He became a symbol of the anti-apartheid struggle, and his death further galvanized the movement. His writings and speeches on black consciousness remain influential today, and he is remembered for his commitment to the fight for freedom and justice.
All praises. So he's another one that stood up against oppression. Like you said, Ecclesiastes 7:7, oppression make a wise man mad. It moved his spirit. When he saw what was going on in South Africa, he said, I got to do something. I got to stand up for my people, man.
And so far what we saw is Nkrumah was from Ghana.
Patrice Lumumba.
Patrice Lumumba was for the Congo, and now Steve Biko was for South Africa.
Yep.
So you've got leaders rising up throughout Africa.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
Man, I'm learning more about black history than in February.
Hey, Officer Len, remember what you said to the sister somebody was talking to at the event. You was telling them black history is every day with us.
That's right.
It's every day with this Bible. This is the blackest historical book.
That's right. It ain't no month.
Yep.
Captain Shemaiah said it. Captain Shemaiah, shout out to Captain Shemaiah. He said, I'm not going to wait for a white man to allocate a month to me for me to look up and start, learning about my history and celebrate my forefather and ancestors. Black history is 365 days of the year, 366 on a leap.
That's right. All right, so let's pull up the next leader, Thomas Sankara. Yep.
Sankara became the president of the Republic of Upper Volta at the age of 33. Previously, he was imprisoned by the sitting government, but a group of revolutionaries seized power on his behalf in a popularly supported coup. He renamed the nation to Burkina Faso, meaning the land of incorruptible people and the citizen.
Real quick, a lot of times what's sad about, about these martyrs, right? Or forefathers or brothers that put their lives on the line for the cause, those coups are begun by infiltration of your own brother.
Yep.
Right. Untrustworthy,
disloyal,
Judas, backstabber within your own organization.
That's right.
That's why a lot of them get put to death. That's where they get the information for, oh, he's going to be here. They're going to be. It's always a Judas in the midst.
Yep.
I'm telling you, that's where that cool is.
Yep. Can I get one precept on that real quick?
Yeah,
officer?
go ahead.
Let's get First Maccabees 11 verse 21, just to back that point up.
The book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 11 and verse 21. Then certain ungodly persons who hated their own people. Who hated their own people.
Come on.
Went unto the king.
Come on.
And told him that Jonathan besieged the tower.
That's what these people are. People that hate their own brothers.
Bring it
They
out.
hate their own people. And what do? Go to the oppressor. Because they eat, like Officer Keli brought out earlier, the word smoother than butter, lying to them, promising them the sun, the moon, and the stars. Not knowing that, guess what? You going into captivity right with your brothers. Right. So that's all I want to add on that, officer.
All praises. Let's start it from the beginning.
In 1983, Thomas Sankara became the president of the Republic of Upper Volta at the age of 33. Previously, he was imprisoned by the sitting government, but a group of revolutionaries seized power on his behalf in a popularly supported coup. He renamed the nation to Burkina Faso, meaning the land of incorruptible people, and the citizen, Burkinabé, meaning upright people. His foreign policies were centered on anti-imperialism.
Pause that real quick.
Biblical. Go ahead,
Yes,
officer.
sir. I'm just thinking about it. The first thing he did was he took away the white name that was given to the country by the oppressors, and he changed it and gave his people a sense of pride and a sense of direction. The upright people, you know, that to me was heavy. That really stood out to me. He was really interesting to me. Of all the people we went over this week, he was very interesting.
Realism, and he rejected foreign aids from organizations like IMF. His domestic policies were dynamic and humanity-centered. In a span of 4 years, he planted 10 million trees. He vaccinated 2 million children against meningitis and yellow fever. He built roads and over 100 kilometers of rail without foreign aids. Thanks to his nationwide literacy campaign initiative, there were land reforms, wealth redistribution, and over 5,000 medical facilities were built. He outlawed female genital mutilation, forced marriage.
That was heavy. This brother, he applied Acts 4. He came in, one of the things that it said about it in a different video was, like, all the government officials had Mercedes. They had a fleet of Mercedes. He sold them all and bought the equivalent of like a Ford Fiesta, and that's what he gave to the people.
And not only that, he cut his own salary for the sake of the people. He cut his salary and everybody else's salary for the sake of the people.
Right. So he put himself first. He didn't have that self-experience.
He was walking it like he was
people
talking
first.
to them.
Can I get Esther chapter 10? Esther 10 and 3.
Yes, sir.
My brother had the spirit of Mordecai.
The book of Esther, chapter 10 and verse 3. For Mordecai the Jew was next unto King Ahasuerus.
You see that? He had a big position, right? He was next to the king. Read.
And great among the Jews.
He was great amongst his own people. Read.
And accepted of the multitude of his brethren.
Why was he accepted by the people? Read.
Seeking the wealth of his people.
What was he doing?
Seeking the wealth of his people.
You know what Floyd Mayweather do? I got billions. I got billions. While Detroit, while Flint still got dirty water.
The hell is this?
While Philadelphia, Jersey, New York, Chi-Town, Miami. You got all these, Jay-Z's and Oprah's. What do they do? They're not coming together saying, you know what, let's start fixing up these ghettos. Let's start fixing our people. They're not doing that.
Right.
That's that selfish mentality. You know what I'm saying? But our forefathers, they had, like Thomas Sankara also, had that spirit of loving your people. You know who had that spirit? Moses.
That's right.
Moses had that spirit. That's right.
That's right.
All praise to the
All
Most
praises. Yep, let's play this last one.
They assassinated that brother too, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Thomas Sankara, yep, he was assassinated.
His brother helped.
Tried at about 10 this morning.
Take the disclaimer off. Play.
A legendary freedom fighter was assassinated on April 10th, by a white fascist racist. Hani was one of the most courageous fighters in the anti-apartheid struggle. He was the leader of the South African
Communist Party
I'm sorry.
and chief of the Umkhonto we Sizwe, the armed wing of the African National Congress, ANC. Hani was persecuted, imprisoned, and forced into exile by the South African government in the 60s. His thoughts and actions made him a legendary revolutionary.
Equally, we're making more apologies. We're also making more apologies. As the medical care must be free and compulsory. We shall fight for those demands.
Many thought that he would succeed Nelson Mandela as president and believed that the country would have been far different if he had. Socialism is about decent shelter for those who are homeless. It is about water for those who have no safe drinking water. It is about health care. It is about a life of dignity for the old. Chris Hani, 1942-1993.
Damn. There you go. I'm telling you, when you care about your people, you know what's crazy though? Like, it's okay for Chinese leaders to care about their people.
Yep.
It's okay for Arab leaders to care about their people. It's okay for, when you a different nation, you can care about your people. But once if you're an Israelite, you a black man, and you care about your people, get rid of them. Assassinate them.
You know why, right, officer? Because as soon as we stand up, it's over.
That's right.
Christ coming back.
That's
what
right.
we're afraid of.
Right,
That's
right. You got that, Officer Rezes?
Yeah, let's pull that real quick. 1 Corinthians 4:9, because I want you to see the common thread that happened, right? Where all these leaders, what happened to them? They was persecuted, they was assassinated, they was killed. This is why the leadership always says, brothers, do we understand what we truly in? We have to wrap our minds and understand, what are we really in, okay? What you see here, what the Lord has established through IUIC, this is it. Ain't nothing coming after us. We're doing the same thing as our forefathers did with the martyrs of the motherland and the martyrs of our forefathers in the Bible back then.
That's
It's
right.
nothing new, okay? Read that.
The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 4 verse 9. For I think that God hath set forth us the apostles last.
You see that? He has set forth the apostles last. Come on.
As it were appointed to death.
It was appointed. So guess what? Understand, once we broke that bread and drank that wine, we signed up for death. Okay, that's what we signed up for. We letting Christ know Christ. Yeah, we signed up for martyrdom. That's what we signed up for. That's what leadership is trying to prepare our minds for. This is why, brothers, we got to prepare our wives and our children, because it's coming. Okay, Bishop Kanai always tells us there's a price to pay for repentance. This thing is not coming free. Eternal life is not coming for free. Right. You have to pay that price, and that price is going to be our life or imprisonment. Okay,
that's right. Hey, get that Acts 22:20. Let's go into some of these martyrs of forefathers in the Bible.
The book of Acts chapter 22 and verse 20.
Go ahead.
And when the blood of thy martyr Stephen was shed.
Of who?
Stephen was shed.
So the blood of thy martyr Stephen. I'm telling you, and that spirit of martyrdom, the first person I don't believe is the brother that says, I'm ready to die for this truth. Bruh, I'm gonna tell you straight up, that spirit of fear, you're gonna do those F's, right? You're gonna fight, flight, or what? Or freeze. You see what I'm saying? So that's a spirit that you gotta pray to the Lord. We gotta pray to the Lord that we could have in that time when it's our trial, it's our tribulation, our number's called, that we have the spirit of our forefather Stephen.
That's right.
We gotta pray to the Lord for that thing. You know what I'm saying? Brothers be mad bold. Yeah, I'm ready in this. Okay. And hey, they be the first ones to run when there's a bee at the camp.
That's right. That goes, the hell is this? Also, that's that talk no more exceeding proudly.
There you go.
You don't. That's why you say Lord's will. That's why you say Lord's will, because you don't know. What
there you go.
That day. You pray for the strength.
You see what I'm saying? Get that in Revelations 2:13.
The book of Revelation, chapter 2 and verse 13. I know thy works, and where thou dwellest, even where Satan's seat is, and thou holdest fast my name.
Come on.
And hast not denied my faith.
Read.
Even in those days wherein Antipas was my faithful martyr.
Who?
Antipas was my faithful martyr.
What made him a martyr? Read.
Who was slain among you where Satan dwelt.
You see that? So we got a lot of martyrs in the Bible. You got John the Baptist, Peter, Stephen, Antipas, the woman in Maccabees, 2 Maccabees 7, and her 7 sons, right? You got the Maccabees, right? Matthias, Judas Maccabees, Simon, Jonathan. These were all martyrs of the cause, martyrs of living and dying for this truth, for showing the laws of God is the solution, for showing that the unification of the 12 tribes, the black Messiah, the prophecies that are going to come to pass, that the nations are going to go into bondage. They died for speaking the truth. That's right. According to the Bible. That's right. You know what I'm saying? So this is the condition of the battle and counting the cost. Right. If you're a realist, then you've really meditated on this stuff and really thought about it. You know what I'm saying? That this ain't no game that we playing. We not playing church. This ain't no Boy Scouts club. Right. We ain't doing this for fun. You know what I'm saying? A lot of brothers, I'm telling you, they think they just here, like just going through the motions. Like you don't understand this calling. You don't understand. Like all you got to do is read and see the examples. You know what I'm saying? Everybody loves, build ye houses, plant gardens. Okay, let's keep the new moon and celebrate and let's have fun. And the Lord says, we gonna have fun and feast. But there's a time for peace. There's a time for war. There's a time for everything up under the sun. And very, very soon, that time of peace is gonna end. That's why the Lord is getting our minds right now. You know what I'm saying? Right now is the time of peace. You know what I'm saying? So right now is the time to gird yourself up in the scriptures, study, pray, and apply. All right? Because the kingdom of heaven is at hand. That's right.
Hey, let's pull this book up real quick about Peter, because like you said, also all the prophets in the Bible were martyrs, right? So this book shows how Peter also was a martyr, right? So pull that up. We're going to read this real quick, Officer Asaya.
Yes, sir.
Pull that up.
All right, bring it over.
All right. Yep, read that title.
History of the Church of Christ. Blow it up a little bit. Here we go. From the 5 first volumes of Milner's church history.
All right, let's go into the book. Scroll down. Let's read the bottom part.
Fill the screen, y'all. Fill the screen up.
That bottom part. All right. Read that.
It appears from well-authenticated history that when Paul was put to death under Nero...
So Paul was a martyr, okay? Paul, real quick, let's get that. Paul was a martyr. Acts 21 and verse 13.
Look at Acts chapter 21 and verse 13. Then Paul answered, what mean ye to weep and to break mine heart?
Come on.
For I am ready not to be bound only, but also to die at Jerusalem for the name of the Lord Jesus.
So Paul had a different spirit on him. He understood. He said, not only I'm ready to be put to go to jail, go to prison, but I'm ready to die for this truth, man. Paul had a different spirit on him. All the apostles, Christ, all of them, the 12, they all had a different spirit on them. Go back to the book.
Under Nero, Peter suffered with him by crucifixion, with his head downward, a kind of death which he himself desired.
Whoa. Yep.
That's next level.
Next level right there.
That
he desired
is next level. He understood that ain't no such thing as YOLO. Right. He understood that, hey, look, if it's my time to go, look, that's what I want. Because I'm telling you, all forefathers, they hated this flesh. They hated this flesh that we're in. They understood. They didn't want to be in this flesh anymore.
Right. And like you said, officer, that's a heavy point. They understood something about death. Like the leadership's been teaching us now.
Bring it out.
Death, we don't really die. Okay? Exactly. We don't really die, but that's a whole nother level of faith right there.
Right.
We don't really die.
Shout out to Captain Joel. Captain Joel did a very fire class on martyrdom as well.
Yes, Deacon Isaac as well. Yep.
That's right.
Let's go back to this book.
Most probably from an unfeigned humility that he might not die in the same manner as his Lord had done. Peter's wife had been called to martyrdom a little before himself.
So sisters, be prepared for martyrdom. Be prepared to be put to death for this truth. Okay?
Second Maccabees.
That's
7.
right.
Yeah,
Great
exactly.
example, man.
There's another one too, I think in 1 Maccabees chapter 1. About the sisters, just because they were circumcising their children. We ain't got to get it for time's sake.
Hey, but I do want to get one of the first martyrs. Let's get that Matthew 23:35. One of the first martyrs.
The book of Matthew, chapter 23 and verse 35.
Come on.
That upon you may come all the righteous blood shed upon the earth.
Come on.
From the blood of righteous Abel.
Of who?
Of righteous Abel.
Read.
Unto the blood of Zacharias.
Zacharias was a martyr. Come on.
Son of Barachias. Whom ye slew between the temple and the altar.
Why did Abel get put to death? Why was he murdered? Because he would not trim his ways.
That's right.
Because he was a prophet. Because he would correct Cain.
That's
and Cain
right.
didn't like it. But Abel would not stop standing stiffly for the laws of God, and he got put to death.
All praises.
Let's go back to that book. Read Peter's wife.
Peter's wife had been called to martyrdom a little before himself. He saw her led to death and rejoiced at the grace of God. Vouchsafed to her and addressing.
That's it on that. So that's it on the book. So it says he saw her led to death and rejoiced at the grace of God. Imagine seeing your wife and your children being led to be put to death, man, and you rejoicing over that thing.
That's right.
That's a whole different spirit,
That's a whole
bro.
level of understanding.
That's a whole nother level of understanding, bro.
Yeah, I was just get one precept on Peter,
yeah,
because Christ told him exactly how he was going to die. John 21, verse 17. So Peter was already prepared. You know, that's why he was rejoicing. Christ had already prepped him like a good leader should. Come on.
The book of John, chapter 21 and verse 17. He said unto him the third time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? Peter was grieved because he said unto him the third time, lovest thou me?
So this is the third time. So this is Christ talking to Peter. Come on.
And he said unto him, Lord, thou knowest all things. Thou knowest that I love thee. Jesus said unto him, feed my sheep.
Come on, watch this.
Verily, verily, I say unto thee, when thou was young, thou girdest thyself.
Said when you were young, you were a strong man. Come on.
And walkest whither thou wouldest.
You had the strength of a young lion at that time. You did what you wanted to do. Come on.
But when thou shalt be old,
when you get older, come on,
thou shalt stretch forth thine hand, and another shall gird thee.
You're going to stretch forth your hands, and another man is going to carry you now, right? When you stretch forth your hands, this is crucifixion. Come on.
And carry thee whether thou wouldest not.
He probably didn't understand at first, but Christ's going to make it very clear for him now. Come on.
This spake he, signifying by what death he should glorify God.
So like he said, this is the martyrdom of Peter right here. Christ prepped him and told him exactly what was going to happen and how it was going to happen. That's all I have.
Right. All praises. So let's pull up some of these images, man, just to see when we go through martyrdom, this is what comes with it. This is the end result, the glory. This is what we receive if we endure that martyrdom.
Right. Hey, get that Matthew 10 and 28. Let's go through those
go
images.
through those. Yep.
The book of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 21. And the brother shall deliver up the brother to...
Verse 28.
Matthew, chapter 10, verse 28. And fear not them which kill the body.
What's it say?
Fear not them which kill the body.
Read.
But are not able to kill the soul.
Read.
But rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell.
So that goes into the one that can not only kill you in the first death, but in the second death as well, because there's two deaths. There's a first and there's a second death. All right? So that second death is your soul, your spirit. All right? This flesh, guess what? It's got to die. But it don't stop there. And that's the problem. That's why people are fearless, because they're like, oh, we all got to die, as if there's only one death. You know what I'm saying? If you are spiritual and you read your Bible, then you know that there is a judgment seat before that we must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ. And that's where that second death may come. So that's the reason why we got to keep the commandments of the Lord.
That's right. All praises to the Most High, man. All praise. Fire. Drop some bombs, man.
That's fire.
Drop some bombs, man. All praise to the Most High.
Yeah, let's get that. Let's get that.
All right, so we're going to close out with the Coon of the Week. Let's drop that intro real quick, y'all. All right, we about to close out, Israel. It's the Coon of the Week. All right, so y'all know what time it is. We got the Coon of the Week, y'all. Let's see who made the hit list.
Oh, man.
Play that.
The name of Tierra Young Allen, who is also a truck driver and social media influencer, has been detained in Dubai due to screaming in public. Now, she got into a shouting match with a rental car employee when she tried to go retrieve her.
Was that her with the weave on?
Yep, that green weave.
Green weave.
She looked like she bald-headed with a green Grinch weave on.
What the hell is this?
Trolls. I'm telling you, you see all types of spirits by a person's countenance.
Yep.
That's what Sirach 19 is and 29 saying. Go ahead, play the video.
Due to screaming in public. Now, she got into a shouting match with a rental car employee when she tried to go retrieve her things out of there. It sounds like he was trying to get some money out of her for doing that. I guess she didn't want to pay it, and so the screaming match ensued, and so that was caught on camera. Again, that is against the law. You cannot do that, especially it sounds like women cannot be doing that in regards to men.
Pause
some people are saying,
you see how they don't want to be clear with it? What can't you do in Dubai and in these countries, the Middle East and all that stuff?
Right.
You can't disrespect men.
That's right.
All right, that's what you can't do over there.
Right.
So these sisters, they so used to doing it over here in in the States, in
Right.
Babylon. You go travel over there, these foreign lands, these foreign countries, and you act like a nigga woman, your ass get locked up.
That's right.
You get locked up over there. I'm
That's
telling
right.
you. And you know what she was doing over there? What is that? Oh, when them Arabs fly you out and they dump feces in your mouth.
She went for the bag.
Yep, she went for the bag. I'm telling you. That's what they be doing, them sisters over there. Them golden showers and
Colostomy bags.
Yep. That's what they do over there. So this is the result when sisters don't follow the natural order. You go to these foreign lands and you try to act like a Babylonian woman. You fall into the same thing.
She got locked up.
Locked up in Dubai.
Finish that off. Go ahead, press play.
men. Now, some people are saying, well, she should have just went over there and not yelled and, did what she's supposed to do. And some people are saying, well, she should be able to yell. It's not fair that she's in jail. I want to ask y'all, what do y'all think? Do you think you should go over to somebody else's country, find out the rules and abide by those? Or you think that Dubai is taking it too far?
Stop. Hey. No. Dubai is not taking it too far. East India wouldn't take it too far. China wouldn't take it too far. Japan, all these other countries, you understand, they do not tolerate any of that, man.
That's right.
It's only here in America where feminism is empowered. So now the black woman is empowered with that feminism. So now she thinks she's equal to the man.
Right.
So now she tries to go to a foreign country and test her, the powers that the white man gave her, and she gets a reality check.
You're gonna learn today.
She get a reality check. You ain't in this ain't America, Jack. You ain't in America, Jack.
Oh hell no!
Ain't that what he said? Coming to America.
This is America, Jack.
Right.
So she out there cooning out in a whole nother country where they don't play that. And she got a hard dose of reality. That's right. And let that be a lesson to a lot of you sisters, man. We was talking about this yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Where a lot of brothers are leaving the country and they're marrying sisters in other countries because the black woman is the least married woman on earth. She thinks she fine, she look good, she can get a man, but she can never get a husband. Right. You'll never have a husband.
What?
You know what I'm saying? And if you get a husband, you're the most likely to be divorced.
Right.
You're the most likely. No, we're not gonna go into that.
Oh yeah, we done with that. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what's going on. These men from these other nations ain't like, oh, we need to go to America to find us a woman.
Right.
No, because they know the way these sisters are being wired over here is scary.
Right.
It's straight scary. What happened, Officer Joshua? Put the camera on Officer Joshua.
Nah, man, I saw Officer Asa Hill. I don't know what he thinking about. And I just saw. I saw he was about to get into something, you know. I want you playing that.
You want to let loose?
I was smiling, man. What y'all got going on?
Now, I was thinking about what you said when you made that "This is America" Jack comment. It made me think about how he left a place where there was order to come to this ratchet place. You know, I'm like, that was only in Hollywood. Only in America.
Only in the comedy would that happen, for real.
Yeah.
For real,
Right.
man. But all praises, man. Hey, that's been the show. Hey, clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. Round of applause, man. That's been the show. Can we get the credits? The subscribe to the channel.
To get them credentials up there.
Yeah, get them credentials up
Hey,
there.
so real quick, subscribe to IUIC Austin on YouTube, Facebook, at IUIC ATX, TikTok at IUIC Austin, Instagram.
Yes, sir.
All right, donate to IUIC.Austin at IsraelUnite.org.
That's right.
All right, make sure you donate to the Booster Club.
Sir.
All right, donate to the Booster Club. Give alms to your local school and local leadership. All right, if you don't have PayPal, drop an envelope in the alms box. Where there's a will, there's a way. You can help the cause. All right. What else we got?
Give shout outs. Want to give shout out to the Most High in Christ first and foremost. All praise. Want to give a shout out to the General, the Bishop Nathaniel, Bishop Yawasam, Bishop Kanai, the deacons, the captains, all the mighty officers, soldiers getting it in while the world is in sin, man.
That's right.
For real.
Shout out to the tech booth.
Tech
team.
Yep. Shout out to the lovely sisters we got supporting us every week.
That's right. K2.
Hey, shout out to K2, man. Our brother faithful, bro.
All right.
Our brother faithful. I don't care what you say.
All praise to the Most High, man.
All
So,
praises,
hey, make sure
man.
y'all subscribe to IUIC Liberia, IUIC Ghana, Sierra Leone, IUIC Puerto Rico, and the Dominican Republic.
Yes.
All international schools. If you get a chance, it really helps out the algorithm, y'all. So please subscribe to these channels.
Right.
All right, as we continue to push further and further to the four corners of the earth. All right.
That's right. That's right. All praises to the Most High.
All praise to the Most High, man. I'm Officer Hales.
Officer Razis.
Officer Asahel.
Officer Kilaya.
Officer Get Alive.
Officer Joshua.
And with that, we make up
WCO!